Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, the final day actually of the OSC Elite, the OSC Elite Rising Star number 19, day 7, the final day of this tournament. It's been a couple of months and now we're here to crown our champion. I'm of course OSC VIP, with me I'm joined by these amazing players and by the people in the chat as well. Welcome to something a little bit different, to something special here. Welcome to the OSC Elite Rising Star tournament. This is a tournament dedicated to the up-and-coming players. This event does exclude players that have achieved too high accolades, that have won major tournaments, and have placed too highly in offline events. So players like Björn or Clem or Cyril or Rainer or Hero, for example, are ineligible to compete. This is instead for the up-and-coming talent in the StarCraft 2 scene. Let's go. Let us go. And again, it's been an intense couple of weeks, intense couple of months of StarCraft in regards to crowning our eventual champion. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is time to check out the bracket. Exclamation mark B. Exclamation mark B in the chat. Have a look at the bracket yourselves. Let us switch our scenes over and catch up on said bracket. Un momento, papi. Ay, ay, ay. Here we go. Bearing in mind, we do have our Wikipedia page set up, and I do very quickly need to... Yeah, beautiful. Switch our scenes over and catch up on the bracket. Okay. So again, it was a massive tournament, double elimination, and has been progressing over the past couple, or again, over the past like 2-ish months, coming up on the 3rd month at this point. So it does take a long time to progress through the event itself. Double elimination, a lot of matches, a lot of games to be played. Coming into this tournament, Shameless and Art were the two, Shameless and GgMaChine, they were the two favorite players to advance on to face off against each other in the upper echelon of the bracket. And in the end, they could not be stopped. Almost. We saw that Jimmy, for example, did take a map off of Shameless, forcing the ace match in the upper bracket quarterfinals. Likewise, Art also did force the ace match out of GgMaChine as well in the upper bracket semis, but in the end they could not be stopped. In the end, Shameless and GgMaChine did advance on to face off against each other here in the upper bracket finals. Shameless did take down GgMaChine 3-1, and now we're here in the lower bracket. Bam. There we go. As you can see here, we have our first series of the broadcast. It's going to be Art versus Art. Let's go. So Art versus Art is going to be coming up first here in the broadcast, followed by the winner of this series up against Fiant, followed by GgMaChine, and then Shameless. We have 4 series ahead of us here to crown our champion, bearing in mind as well that when it comes to the lower bracket semifinals onwards, pure best of 5s. So it's going to be 3 best of 5s and 1 best of 3 here in the broadcast. Oh boy. A lot of content, a lot of StarCraft is coming up ahead of us here, and let us jump into our first game of the broadcast. Jumping into Tokamak. Let's go. Let us go. We're jumping into our PvP here, and we'll see which Art, which Protoss does advance on to the next round. Now, again, it's not as mirrored as it once was. You know, it was, what, 1-2 years ago where both Arts were actually on the same team. They were both on the Platinum Heroes. Nowadays, not quite the case. Not quite the case. But here we go. Spawning in the right-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the pink Protoss player. We have the Polish Protoss representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Art. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have the red Protoss player representing Quasar. It is Art. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. So we delve into our initial best of 3. Vámonos. Here we go. So as, from here on forward, we're going to be jumping on PvP. When it comes to Art versus Art, they often are a little bit more active and, don't want to say aggressive. I will say that Art has been looking very impressive over the past couple of months, looking very strong in the Warden TV team leagues and also in online tournaments, getting some massive upsets. Meanwhile, Art has been having a little bit of some downtime over the past year of play. We spoke about this previously, how Art hasn't really been playing much StarCraft. He was very active during the COVID era of StarCraft, like 2020, 2021, 2022, but in more recent years, Art, he did take a step back, right? He even almost retired in 2024. He wasn't playing at all, and only recently returned to the game and has been leveling back up, has been improving, of course, as well. He has been improving, and he is now to the point where, hey, he's made it here into the upper echelon of OSC Rising Star. So again, he has been improving, but I would not say that he's at his previous level of skill yet. Back when he was full-time, hasn't quite reached that level of play, but he's getting there for sure. Meanwhile, the other Art is almost the opposite, where they're currently peaking in terms of skill. Let's go. Let us go. See, I think art will win. Vamonos, papi, vamonos. Personally, I lean towards arts, but I can see art causing an upset for sure. For now, though, we are going to be opening up. It is going to be the initial two-gate opener out of both players. Pylons are in each other's respective bases as well. No proxy, no shenanigans. I should also bring something up as well in regards to the map. You might be thinking, hold up, Tokamak? Isn't that like from a year ago? Like 2 seasons ago at this point? It has been not too long, but OSC does feature a unique structure here. Every season of OSC, players, they vote on maps. They vote on maps to be added to the tournament map pools. They'll be added to all the OSC tournaments. That's going to be OSC Elite, alongside Rising Star, mid-season playoffs, and other OSC events do have like a custom expanded map pool. And Tokamak was voted on to be added to the map pool alongside Submarine and Beckett Industries. Submarine and Beckett Industries are a lot older, again from back in like 2021 2020-ish era of StarCraft. Back to back, they were the 2-season rush maps, so 2 maps have been added that do favor hyper aggression. Tokamak is the other kind of like opposite end of the spectrum, where Tokamak is hyper defensive. Talking about the map a little bit itself, it's not going to be applicable in this series, but we do have a very secure 3rd and 4th base, just because the area in between them is fully walled off, and we have all these points of elevation as well, and a longer rush distance by ground. So turtling up and defending on 4 bases is easier on Tokamak than on other maps, but that is less applicable to PvP, as Zard is already moving out. So he does go for extra warp-ins. It starts Stalker Sentry into double Sentry behind this. Now when it comes to this early move out, as we are making another Sentry, is that this early on there's no blink, right? There's no blink available to our players, so force fields are very crucial here, and we're now moving out. Yeah, Art does move in, Art backs off. Both players did invest quite heavily here into these early game sentries. Art's a little bit more than the other Art, but from here we're backing off each other. We do scat each other as well, and we are throwing down our 3rd. Okay, very fast 3rd base, by the way. The natural base isn't even done. The natural's not even complete, papi. The greed here is insane, and we will not get away with it. Massive hallucination scout does go in, does confirm the 3rd base, and with that, Art is now aware, and Art should be punishing the timing. No, never mind, he's keeping up instead, throwing down his own 3rd, but it is going to be later than the 3rd base of Art. So both players are rushing into the mid game. Both players are going to be expanding. Art should still be applying pressure just to try to punch the greed of his opponent, and try to force out some units and try to force some damage in another kind of way. Likewise, we can go for Adept Harass, Warp Prism Harass as well. So far, there is no Robo for either player. That's how greedy we're being. We couldn't afford a 3rd base if we had gone to Robo first. It's going to be Robo after the 3rd instead. If there was, say, Dark Templar, for example, or some other shenanigans going on, then players would be in trouble. But so far, both players are getting away with greed. So a lot of greed going on. We're embracing that mid-game. We spoke about this earlier this week, but in general, mid-game PvP is a rare sight amongst like the upper echelons of play, referring to especially the Korean Protoss players like Zaun, Creator, Hero, Classic, even Max Packs, and even Showtime nowadays is hyper aggressive and hyper cheesy in PvP. But when it comes to all the other players kind of in the middle here, so referring to Sebestes, for example, Hydra as well, Mindo VK, UAD Soldier, even Jimmy a little bit. Jimmy's maybe on the more chaotic side, but a lot of these guys, they're often playing for the mid game. So from playing for the mid game, they rarely do proxy. They're more than happy to be greedy like this. Of course, you can argue that maybe the map itself had something to do with this kind of situation, where the map is large, more defendable. We just want to embrace the mid-game more than anything, or even longer than that. So by calming things down, we're finding ourselves. Meanwhile, Art does get into the middle line, not bad. It does shade in. 1, 2, 3 probes going to be going down. Getting up to at least 5. This is getting out of hand. This is getting out of hand at this point. 6 probe kills. Ay. Very nice damage. And we're not done. The main army does come in, and Art is being pulled apart. 9 probes going down. Art completely out of position. Ay. Is out of position. Does pull away. Behind this, we have charge, I believe, finishing. Oh, no, not quite. So no charge yet for Art, which might be a bit of an oversight. Art is halfway done. Sorry, charge is halfway done for Art. And so we can move out. Right now, I would say that our blue Protoss player here is being pressured enough to go for a committed counterattack. that already had a late third, already had a later third base, losing all these workers as well. Charge is almost complete, +1 as well. There's going to be very strong timing available here, but we do have an upgraded advantage over the opposing art. So this is something to hit. And let's go. It is go time. The Prism has arrived, +1 and charge about to kick in, and it's time for art to break through. It's his moment. It's his moment. So we're bringing visual stalkers. Likewise, art just needs to buy more time. Only 1 battery, second battery's on the way. Blink is complete. 1 sentry gets caught. It does catch a sentry. Nice hold position micro so far. He's holding on. Art's still looking for a way in. The longer this goes on, the better it's going to be for Art. And so far, decent concave, but again, the shield battery is out of energy. Second battery just not finishing. Better concave here for Art. So far, holding well. He is holding well. Catching a sentry. 1 sentry left. Running out of force fields. And no more force fields available. Does rotate towards a 4th base. Art, he does miss this rotation. Uh-oh. Yeah, it does miss the rotation. The expansion is going to go down. Art coming in from behind. And do we recall? Do we just take the fight? Yeah, you can't just take the fight here. Half the army for Art. Now collapsing in. Charge paying off. And as we cause a distraction, Warp Prism into the main base. Massive Warp into the main. Zelte busts in. Probe's going to be going down. RT is distracted. But does defensively warp in. Not enough Zealots though. Yeah, it's getting a little bit rowdy. Forced to recall. It does force a recall, taking this seriously. Prism going for a second warp in. Ay. And probes are going to start going down. Yeah, the probes are under fire. Ooh, depower some of the gateways. At the same time, the main army does move in. And Artie's being pulled apart. It's being pulled apart, Batty. Oof. Do we force a cancel? That's a kill. Yeah, it's a kill on the cancel. Massive big off on the 4th base. Better engage here for March. At the same time, Zealots are finally cleaned up. The Prism is still alive. And the Prism is still alive, and damage has been done. Initially, Art was keeping up. He was holding on. He was defending very well up until we saw that rotation where Art missed the rotation, right? If you recall, he missed the army rotating over towards the 4th base. He was caught out of position. He scrambled for a defense. That's another kill? Oh, it's another kill, not another cancel. Ay. Massive pickups. Now Art is getting further ahead, back at home, getting his own 4th base up and running. +3 attack is going to be on the way, so another big power spike in terms of upgrades. He still does have that power spike with +2 over the +1 of Art. Not like this. As Art pulls away. And pulls away. We do see a Bay in production here, and that is the way to recover. Right now, Art is pretty far behind, but hey, with a couple of well-placed purification novas, you can make up for being down 20-30 supply. That can happen. That's one of the only ways to recover in this game, though. Outside of that, run-bys, counterattacks, War Prism Harass as well. There are some other avenues here, some other options available to Art. He, of course, has chosen to go down the road of Disruptor. Of those novas. Setting up behind this. At the same time, Art's moving in. Does have that supply advantage and the upgrade advantage as well. +2 is about to finish up here for Art, so we're going to be evening up the upgrades. We're closing that gap, at least. First Disruptors in production. But is it too late? Like, Disruptors, sure, they're coming, but Art is here. He's almost maxed. He's almost maxed out. He's taking it slow. Alright, Blink is now on cooldown. Now is the time. It does break through. Force fields, they do nothing. The Archons, they break through the force field. Soldiers are exposed. We do have the first Disruptor. Never goes up. And a decent connection. Yeah, the connection's okay, but it's still not enough. It's still not enough here. Yeah, Zealot's overwhelmed. At the same time, the mineral line does crumble. The base as well. GG gets called, and Art will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Art will take a lead in this series. Again, a very intense back and forth here. Initially, it was the Polish Art that was being greedy, if you recall. They were being greedy, getting a very fast third expansion, and initially they got away with it. I was very impressed. Was able to, despite having later upgrades and the earlier expansion, was able to get away with that 3-base setup, defend the 4th base initially as well, was keeping up and was even taking better fights until that big rotation towards the 4th base, which Art did miss. If you recall, that was a moment where he scrambled for that defense. He tried to keep up. He was forced to take a worse fight, fighting with half his army at a time, and in the end he still lost his 4th base, and that also did create an opening for the War Prism into the main base, and that was like the game winning move. It was twofold. It was the big rotation that was missed, but also the warping into the main base as well, which did pull apart the attention and the supply of Art, and then it was torn apart. GG. GG, all played. With that, we're now getting to game number 2, going to be loading into Winter Madness. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner here at Winter Madness, we have the blue Protoss player representing Quasar, leading the series 1-0. It is Art. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the pink Protoss player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Art. Let's go. Let us go as we are getting into our second game. Once again, a larger map. Once again, a very large map in the map pool. Longer rush distance by ground and more defendable bases. Now, this map is not as defendable as Tokamak, I will say that. But regardless, it's still known for longer later games. Specifically in PvP, because the map is so large, there are a lot of proxy locations. And we commonly do see proxies and all-ins on this map. But at the very beginning of the series, we spoke about how these two players are more prone to playing for the mid-game instead. Not really players that do embrace aggression and proxies as often as others. But we'll see. We're keeping an eye on our players. So far, 2 gate openers abound. Here we go. Clearly, their opponent needs to play more like Art. I mean, thankfully, we have our Arts like named correctly. It is not uncommon for them to meme and for Art to change his like the typing of his name in game to like all lowercase, or like a lowercase a, lowercase r, and uppercase t, or uppercase a and then lowercase r, and like just to like mess, just to mess with you, just for the memes, Pappy. They have been willing to do that in the past, which is totally not confusing. Especially back when they were on the same team. But for now, we do see Ars going for his own. Are we committing, or is this a fake out here? The second pylon has been thrown down on the map. Based on its location, are we feeling Stargate? Like, it's at a really, it's still on Art's side of the map. No, Proxy Robo. Okay, 1 base all in. Interesting. Based on its placement, this might just be for a War Prism. Just War Prism, then we get a 3rd gateway back at home and just go for gate aggression instead of Immortal Reinforcements, just because this is further back. We'll see. Regardless, Art is going to be spicing things up. Meanwhile, back at home, Art's going for his own standard opener. If you recall, Scout did confirm the pylon is missing, but didn't actually veer off to Scouts, which is interesting to me. Typically, the scouting probe from Art would veer... There we go, okay. Is going to veer off, throws down the pylon just to scout for the first couple of units. That does confirm at least a couple of Stalkers, and the hallucination... Ooh, the hallucination will not confirm the proxy. Ay, barely out of range, barely out of vision. At the same time, Art is scouting the bottom left-hand corner of the map, but he will miss the robo. Goes further in, gets eyes on the 3rd pylon. This is a tell. Typically, the 3rd pylon will be down the low ground to be able to expand to protect that natural. And as a reaction, defensive robo. Good call. A good call here by Art. Working towards his own defensive immortals. Prism is now moving in. Art is pushing forward. Behind this, still in 2 gateways. So still in 2 gateways, still we have an even production. Now we can drop into the mineral line. Art is in position. Getting his own 3rd gateway. And his own prism. Oh. Ooh, Prism taking some hull damage. Yeah, it does take some damage. Ooh, at the same time, Stalker does go down. We did miss a volley there. Yeah, it did miss a volley, so a little bit messy here from Art. Yeah, a bit of a messy defense, but he does deflect. Prism is outdone. Now Art has his own ability to micro. Art reinforced with Immortals. This Elucidation Scout should confirm that. So he does know, is aware. And again, it's all or nothing. Probe going back in. The first Immortal has arrived. And so far chipping away the gateway. Oh. Now this gateway will go down. Thankfully there's a backup gateway here for Art. It's further back. The second gateway now under fire. As we get a couple shots up. Lost Field buying some time. And nice pick up here, catching out a couple of Stalkers. Yeah, 1, 2 Stalkers go down. Likewise, does not quite get on top of the Immortal. Ooh, and probes are falling. Gonna take it in. Massive pickups here. 5 probes gonna be going down. Ay, ay, ay. But Art expands. So Art, he does choose to expand. Art, he is not aware, by the way, that pylon across. Oh, there we go. Does scout. Does scout with the probe. And now suddenly Art is all in. Not Art. If that makes sense. Yeah, Polish Art, he's now trying to expand, trying to transition out of this. It's going to be on Art to counterattack. He will lose his second gateway. Now going for the Stargate. Going for the Stargate follow-up. Can go for Phoenixes. Doesn't take some hits. Ready to survive. Oh, calm down. Calm down, Pappy, calm down. But it does feel like the Stargate is a little bit late here for Art, so it's going to be a later Phoenix. In the end, Art, he will back up, he will retreat, and again, the longer this game goes on, the better it is for Art. As the pylon survives on 4 HP, let's go. And pylon barely survives. Again, Art, he does deflect, claiming his own natural base. And after the intense early game, after the intense aggression, we're calming things down. We're calming things down. We're looking to expand as well. I would have assumed that Art would have been forced into a 1 base all in, but no, he is applying pressure. That is true, but is still expanding behind this as well. This game may stabilize. We're not there yet, though. Now the map is being cleared out. Phoenix has arrived. Oh, has to be careful. Taking some hits. And does take some hits. Pushing forward. Oof. Gets punished. Does face check with a Stalker. Checks with the face. Gets punished. And Art is slowly building up that greater economy. He's up in workers from here, now working towards his Blink. Again, bigger timing here with where Blink is available, as opposed to the Twilight Council just now starting here for Art. Ay, ay, ay. Oh no, Livy action! No, the Immortals, they go down. Massive pick up, the Prism falls. We can try to recall to save one of them, or even save both. Yeah, it does go for the recall, and the Immortals will barely, one of them gets away, just the one. Ay, 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 massive loss here for Art. He was inattentive. That was not the time to look away, Pappy. Ay, ay, ay. So some big miscontrol here from Art. With that, it lose map control. Art can now move out. What do we have? 3 Immortals, we have the Prism, we're going to have Blink. Blink will be a factor, of course. A big deciding factor here up in the next fight. Now, I'm curious to see if Art commits or if he just expands. Yeah, he's taking a third. He might just contain his opponent to get a third base up and running and just get further ahead. Yep, Forge on the way for +1. Charge has now begun as well. So the goal is contain. And maybe find some damage in the main. Oh, going for the Robo? The pylon's still lit from earlier. There we go. Pylon goes down. Depowers the Robo. Robo is going to get sniped as well. Massive pickup at the same time. Art breaks out. Oh, decent catch. Getting an Immortal. Yeah, nice catch with the main army. Does snipe the Immortal, but at the same time, he will lose his Robo and his mineral line. Yeah, 5 probes going down. Art forced to go back home. Does pull back. I believe we can recall. Yeah, recall should be available. Yeah, there's that recall. Does pull away. Does pull out. Losing 1 Stalker. Insane value. And Art may have lost an Immortal, but hey, he denied Immortal production from his opponents. I can build up his own. Base on the way for disruptors. 3rd base has been thrown down. Already more than halfway done. Again, Art just getting further and further ahead. And Art, the pressure's on. We got to do something here. But what can we do? Once again, Art is looking for a way in. Just poking, just prodding, keeping all of his, keeping the main army back at home. Just being active with Stalkers. Ooh. We'll lose 1 Stalker pushing up the ramp. We gotta stop face checking. We gotta. Both players this game. As we do see Art causing some distractions. Adepts on the right, Prism on the left. Does 9 mining get the mineral line. Stalkers that can be activated. Oh no! Oh, the Prism goes down. It's Art's turn to fumble the ball, papi. Ay, ay, ay. Losing 2 Immortals and a War Prism. That is huge. Okay. Okay. The beginning of the comeback. The beginning of the comeback, papi. And without Art, he can push. Art back at home. He's still working on those disruptors. We still have the first disruptor halfway done. Still needs more time. As Art is moving in. So far we can see Art just trying to buy some time here. Throws down a wall of force fields. First disruptor has arrived. Behind this we have Glaives on the way, so Art is committed. Choosing not to go charge. Choosing not to take up into Archons. I mean, Art knows that he did have a worse start in this game, so he's just embracing that. Good reactions. We'll lose 1. 2. 2 pressure to Adepts. Oh, no, he is taking up into Archons. Interesting. Okay. Still taking up. Getting a 4th. So once again, the game is slowing down. It was quite tense, and as I mentioned before, Art did have a lead, but again, did end up losing that lead. Still has an advantage at least. But not as great as it once was. Likewise, only did get the 1 disruptor. There we go. 2nd disruptor's now on the way. As Art rotates. Rotates over. Oh. Gonna be zoned back. Never gonna be going up. Disconnection. Does catch 2 sentries. Oh no! Yeah, 2 sentries go down, but the Prism was late on siege. Yeah, it was late. So once again, Art punished. 2nd Stargate on the way, going into Mass Phoenix production. I mean, so this is a reaction to seeing the disruptor. Typically disruptors are ideal. They have a superior kind of mid to late game setup that the ideal unit want to be taking up into. But there is a way to deal with that, and that is Mass Phoenix to lift up the disruptors, lift them up, and deny the Novas. But it does feel like a late reaction here, as opposed to just going into your own bay and your own disruptor production. Art is choosing not to. So going Mass Phoenix. Again, not easy to utilize, especially up against like a heavy Archon count as well. I don't really see the Phoenixes. I mean, they can deny the initial Nova, I suppose, but it's going to be one and done. Speaking of, it does go to the lift. He gets two. Yeah, one disruptor gets focused. Celtic collapse in. Phoenixes, they go down. And he just engages. He just does engage. Hard force back. Building up more Phoenixes. And we can see Art warping in more High Templar for additional Archons. As I mentioned before, they're going to be ideal when it comes to protecting the disruptors. Going to be a wall here that cannot be broken. Not like this. Yes, Phoenixes, they go for the dive. They try to at least. Yeah, 1, 2 disruptors going to be focused down. But massive Archon shots as well. The Immortals, they get targeted as well. Yeah, some rough losses there for Art. Sure, Art, he killed the disruptors, but he spends so much supply doing so. Too much supply, baby. Ay, ay, ay. And Art, he overwhelms. He breaks on through. He punishes the army, and with that, Art cannot defend. And we're going to the ace match. We're going to game 3. As the main army crumbles, we're down to a handful of Stalkers. GG gets called, and we are forcing the ace match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Art, we had a bit of a back and forth here. Initially, Art was able to eventually gain map control and be able to surpass and claim a faster third base. Then we saw a bit of a back and forth when Art lost his War Prism, when he lost his 2 Immortals. We saw him lose a little bit of momentum, did decide to go into Mass Disruptor, and in the end, that was more than worth it. We saw that the reaction to that was going to Mass Phoenixes, but as we saw, there was so much time and attention dedicated to denying the Disruptors and focusing them down that it did cost Art the rest of the army as well, right? We saw so many Archon volleys going off, Immortal shots as well, just punishing the army, trying to engage and pushing and collapse on those lifted Disruptors was not quite worth it. GG. GG, well played. With that, we are now getting into game 3, the ace match. We're going to be loading into Ruby Rock, this time a much smaller map of the map pool. Smaller map. Bearing in mind that game 2 was off of the back of like a proxy and one base play for both players as well. Both players were hyper committed on one base, then eventually we expanded, getting a natural, getting a third. Embracing that longer game. There we go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the pink Protoss player. We have the Polish Protoss representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Art. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss himself representing Quasar. It is Art. Yaku. Just was comment in the Discord. There we go. Here we go. Welcome to Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock is a smaller map. Finally, we have a smaller map of the map pool. Shorter rush distance by ground. Aggression is more favored here, and it can be very difficult maintaining your third and fourth base on this map as they are much more open, much more exposed, shorter rush distance, and also more accessible areas in between the bases as well. Aggressors are usually favored on this map, and we'll see who's going to be said aggressor. Or if we take it one step further. Where are you taking us, back? Now probes are going to be moving out. Initially 2 gate openers, so 2 gate opener out of Art, 2 gate opener out of Art as well. No proxies, no shenanigans, no pylon out on the map. So far everything's looking standard. Right now we're just waiting to see which initial units of choice are going to be thrown down. Double Sentry, double Stalker, Stalker Adept, Stalker Sentry, or double Adept. What are we going for? And we have the answer, standard opening here from Art, Stalker Sentry, likewise from Art as well. Mirrored builds. Mirroring each other's builds. Just trying to set up. Oh, and so now we're just coming for our scouts. Both players are extended, and we're both taking up in towards our Twilight councils as well. Nothing crazy, nothing wild. We've been poking and potting here in the early game, but so far no major damage has been dealt. As we mentioned in the past here, force fields are key when it comes to shutting down some of these units. So we do hallucinate to try to fake out. As Art does fake forward. Oh, boys are being pulled, already forcing a big of a reaction here. Not bad. Not killing much, but so much lost mining time. What, 6 probes off the mineral line? Ay, ay, ay. And he gets one. Yeah, again, Sentry's going to be going down. He gets 1, 2 sentries and a stalker as well. Massive pickups. Very nice pickups here by Art. With the bare minimum. Can he get a stalker? He can. Oh, no. Who shoots first? The stalker, does he get away? He shouldn't, and he doesn't. Yeah, he does not get away. A sentry does go down, so a bit of a rougher trade there from Art. No! As he once again has to pull away. Looking at the Usos tab, though, again, a much more efficient trade here out of our pink Protoss player. If only slightly. Oh, no. Still has to be careful, though. He's trying to overwhelm, trying to keep rallying. Shields are being generated. Ooh, we lose a Stalker. And Art holds. He holds, he defends. Now just force back. Oh, okay. As it all settles, we're both heading in the same direction. When it comes to worker counts, Art does have a slight economic advantage here over Art, despite having to pull the boys, by the way. Like, that was damage being dealt, but despite that, the worker count is still much healthier for our blue Protoss player. Likewise, Blink is finishing up as well, slightly faster here for Art. We do have the Robos finishing up, and we are expanding. Okay, third bases are going to be on the way. We haven't really seen any major signs of aggression yet. There's a third gateway in production for Art, but for now, just that third gateway hasn't committed any deeper than that on 2 bases. Not yet. Oh. As Art, he is trying to recover. Both players claiming their third bases, and we're just calming down, building up into the mid game. Did mention that aggression is favored on this map, but that might just be relegated to the mid game here with aggressive mid game instead. And we haven't seen Art pop off and pull apart Art before. We saw that in game 1. Like, game 1 was crazy, by the way. It was, I was very impressed by Art's play. With his aggression, with his harassment. But now, though, again, we are still building up. I believe there is an immortal advantage. Yet there is going to be an immortal advantage here for Art. So up an immortal. Does have that advantage. Prism is on the way. Sign here of aggression. Sign that we're going to be moving out soon. Oh. Just waiting for that moment. But so far I still do favor Art's main army when it comes to defending. Like defending and holding on, especially with 3 batteries at the third base. Oh my god, he's very well prepared. I can't say the same about the 4th location though. As Art is moving in. And where will the fight take place? And where will it take place? Again, the batteries are further back. No batteries at the natural. but still up in Immortals. Oh, does swing in, takes down the Prism, not bad. Yeah, Prism goes down, Prism for both players, he commits to the dive. Yeah, the Immortal does tank a couple of volleys, does tank a couple of shots. It does eventually go down, but I believe Art should have enough. Yeah, Art with a stronger defense here, he was up in Immortals, tanked extra volleys. And now he can overwhelm, he can just blink in. That Immortal is so exposed, it's so vulnerable. And it goes down. And massive pick of GG gets called. The aggression fails, and Art will claim the series 2-1, advancing on to the lower bracket semi-finals. GG. GG, well played. Again, Art, he had the defender's advantage, he had the batteries, he had the higher immortal count as well, and we even saw a bit of miscontrol out of Art. I don't know if you noticed, but when Art blinked forward to dive on the immortal, he actually misclicked and focused on the sentry, which I don't think was intentional. I believe he was supposed to focus on the immortal instead, which was right next to it, because right after that, then he started focusing the immortal, so did miss a volley as well, which is huge. Like, every volley does matter, especially when it comes to bringing down those immortals. Did allow for extra shots to go off, extra time to be bought, extra volleys to tank as well, and every little bit does matter, especially in a mirror matchup like this. GG well played. So again, a stronger defensive setup here from Art, higher mortal counts, the batteries, defense advantage, and of course the miscontrol working in his favor. GG well played. Art, he will advance on, and meanwhile Art is out of the tournament, and with that we can now have our non-mirror matches remaining, for the most part at least. We'll see that trend continues. Up next, Art will advance on to face off against who? To face off against Fiant in the next round. Let's go. Just need a moment to set up. One moment. But again, shout out to Art for forcing the ace match, to making a series out of it as well. Making a series out of it. Okay, beautiful. We're good to go. Game 1 will be on Winter Madness. And here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the red Protoss player, himself, representing Quasar, the stronger Art now. True. It is Art. There can only be one Bappy. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the Swedish Zerg player, the yellow Zerg, representing Team Roddy. It is Fiant. Let's go. Let us go. And from here, we are going to be jumping into our fresh series. If you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. See, chat says best of 1. It says best of 5. Does say best of 5. As I mentioned previously, from here on forward, purely best of 5s. It's going to be a best of 5 lower bracket semis, then lower bracket finals, and then a grand finals as well. So 3 best of 5s remaining in the broadcast. Let's go. Here we go. As we're getting into our best of 5, initially here we have our Hatchcast full standard opener out of Fiant. Likewise, Art back at home going for his own standard opener as well. Now, when it comes to our mid-game play here, Art is typically hyper aggressive. Like, he's usually not one to just sit back, turtle up, and build up into Sky Toss. That's not really Art's MO. He does typically thrive with, say, early tech production and earlier aggression as well in PvZs. Meanwhile, Fiant, he's also one to embrace aggression in the mid-game. I mean, as is most, if not all, Zerg players out there. Unless you're Serral, all-ins are very common, very common nowadays, referring to like 3 base saturation, 4th base just for larva, purely Ling Hydra, or going Roach Hydra, or sneaking out Spire Tech and going into Mutaplay unscouted. These are typically what we expect out of our players. There are some also other niche builds we can try to like Ling Rush or go for a German Taxian all-in, but those are a little bit more, those are catered towards smaller maps like Tourmaline or Ruby Rock. On a map like Winter Madness, we expect mid-game aggression, not early game aggression. Let's go. So now it is going to be a Stargate opener out of Art. I can listen to this match since it's not art versus art. I mean, I feel like you could follow along with the previous cast. It was pretty solid. It was what do you mean? When you hear Art defended, he's gonna take a lead, and then Art falls behind. You don't understand what that means. You don't. I think it was pretty clear. Yeah. But let's go. For now, nice snipe here on the Overlord. We'll supply block Fiant. Oh, yeah, 3 Overlords in production, so quite a brutal supply block actually early on. Bit of a shakier start. But from here, we're just going to drone, saturate, link speed is on the way. We do pull out of gas, so there's no rush into early Evo chamber or early lair. Kind of chasing some mineral line, gets, oh, almost one. Nice quick morph there. As drones, they all do survive. Test me too soon, I did, one drone. One drone goes down, we trade 1-to-1, and here comes the Oracle. Yeah, the Oracles are coming behind us, so Stargate opener into a third base. Right now, we're looking to see the Twilight Council timing. Do we throw it down early or later? Do we get a Forge alongside it as well? That is what we're looking for. Looking for the Twilight Council, looking for the Forge. At the same time, Roach Warren is going to be cancelled. Oh, cancels the Warren. Interesting. Yeah, it does cancel Spores a little bit late here, but the Queens are in position and they punish the Oracle quite hard. That's a lot of hull damage. A lot of hull damage on the Oracle. Lings get across the map. They go for the pylon. The pylon should survive. Oh, as we're being quite aggressive, quite greedy here with the Adepts. Getting 2 drone kills, not quite getting the third. This did mean that the third base of R was exposed, but hey, it does defend. Does defend, does hold on. There's our Twilight Council, Gateway Explosion. I don't see a Forge. This for now is looking like Glaive Adepts. As we're building up into 4 gates, this is either Glaives, or we could go into early Blink, into committed Blink Stalker play, into an even higher Gateway count on 3 bases. So what's it going to be? Blink or Glaives? The Twilight Council timing itself was a little bit later than to be expected for Glaive Adepts, so I'm leaning more towards Blink, but it could just be that R was distracted. It could be that he was just hyper attentive to his aggression, that his own upgrade was delayed. Okay, Blink is on the way. So early Blink, 4 gate setup, very late Forge, very late upgrades. This might be the beginning of an 8 gate 3 base all-in. We'll see if we just go for a late Forge or if we go for a massive Gateway Explosion. As Oracles they poke in, 3 drones go down, Adepts say shade in towards the mineral line on the right hand side, shades into the main. It does shade into the mineral line, getting 4 drone kills, not bad. 4 drones going down. Fiant 5 drones even. Fiant trying to keep up. Does go for +1 melee, but this is very late. As you recall, earlier we saw the Roach Warren, then it was cancelled. Now we throw down the Baneliness into +1 melee, but later +1 melee as well. I think more than anything, I will say that Fiant's play feels a little bit uncertain, maybe a little bit unconfident. Like we're lacking confidence here for sure, just because we're trying to purely react to what we're scouting. And there are ways to still kind of like have a little bit more determination, or just have a little bit more, I don't know, direction early on, even despite not scouting and still kind of working with what you see. But yeah, just later check choices out of Fiant. Now the Oracles, they pull back, gather energy. Storm is going to be on the way. We are taking up. Again, very late Forge, by the way. Late Forge, late +1, but we are taking, we are looking to expand. Let's pick up at Art. Denies the 4th. Remember, because Blink did finish early, we can be active this early on. And so far, RT is finding damage. Fiant setting up for a Baneling Waterway. I say Waterway because Baneling speed is not being researched. So we got the slow Banes. The slow Banes, happy. And we are getting into a very fast hive. Oh my god, okay. Insanely fast hive. Fiant, do you want to take us to, I was going to say Lurker Tech, but I feel like we'd be seeing a Lurker Den soon if that was the case. Does start the range upgrade. Okay. Banelings, they get called out. Lings, they rotate towards the right hand side. Storm is done. Now, my big concern here for Fiant, just because it's being so greedy, there's going to be a big window in time where Art can push pre-Lurker, right? Like, Lurker Den just now began. Ideally, you want to line this up with the Hive to start the upgrades immediately, and to get Lurkers out as soon as possible. Even Lair Tech Lurkers, just to buy time. But again, the Den is much, much later here. These Ling Rumby's are actually quite crucial. Fiant needs Art to turn around. Art does not turn around, no! Yeah, he's not turning around, does go for the defensive orbit instead. This base is going to be denied, and we should just keep pushing. Art needs to just keep on pushing here. What do we have to defend? Lings and again Queens? We have 2 Hydras. 3! Yeah, 3 Hydras to defend, getting up to 4. Yeah, Storms a zone. Oof! Yeah, Brutal Storm on the Zerglings. Show us the Storms! Yeah, another Storm on the Hydras. And reinforcement's going to be delayed. There's no War Prism with this push, but this is still so much damage being dealt. And Hydras are falling, and with that, Artie gets caught with, Fiant gets caught with his pants down. The pants are down. Zealots, they hit the mineral line, they hit the 4th base. The boys are being pulled. Massive Storm on the boys. Crazy Storm. The Oracles, they go to town, and with that, Fiant has been broken. Who lose everything? 34 drone kills, every single Hydra. And GG gets called. Art, it takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Again, it did feel like Fiant, he was a little bit, again, he was lacking that confidence, he was lacking that kind of that direction early on when it comes to his tech, when it comes to how he wanted to play this out. Eventually he chose to, because his tech was so late, it looked like his reaction to that was to try to cut corners and try to rush into Lurker tech as quickly as possible. But as we were trying to emphasize, there was a window in time where he was going to be vulnerable as a result of that, where he was spending all of his money on the Infestation Pits, on the Hive, and on the Lurker Den instead of Hydras. So he had only 3 Hydras to defend. When the army pushed across the map, there was nothing to defend. GG. GG, well played. With that, Art does punish, and now we're loading into game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. So we are getting into game 2 here, going to be loading into the Old Republic. And spawning in the bottom hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the yellow Zerg player. We have the yellow Zerg player himself. We have the Swedish Zerg down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and make a series out of this. It is Fiant. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss player himself, representing Quasar. It is Art. Well, the faster wasn't even trying to distinguish the players. Do you mean the caster? Don't be a clown, pappy. Also, that was on purpose. That was if you didn't catch on, I was intentionally, like, usually whenever we cast 2 players of the same name, of the same ID, I usually distinguish and I just call them by colors. Typically like the pink Protoss or the blue Protoss. But last series I was very intentionally not doing that. Gotta embrace the meme, pappy. What do you mean? You don't often get art versus arts, or eggs versus eggs, or silky versus silky. True. Embrace the meme, pappy. There we go. As we do open up with a hatch block across the map, bearing in mind that this is a hatch before pool. Very greedy in that sense. We're not rushing into any early pool, any early lings, any early queens, so nothing aggressive early on here. This is only to delay the expansion and to force a reaction out of Art, and so far it's working. So 2-gate response. 2-gate response does pull a couple of boys as well, and so far this is doing economic damage, but remember, reap what you sow, right? This is going to be forcing out 2 Zealots and 2 Adepts and a big counterattack as well, so Fiant has to make sure he can survive that counterattack. Let's go. From here is going to force that cancellation. Adepts are on the way. Did only open single zealot though. True. So there's going to be one less zealot than we would expect. And again, once this is cancelled, bam, we have the counterattack. So 2 adepts, 1 zealot is going to be moving out across the map. Back at home, Fianti will have to cut worker production and make zerglings as a result, and that will help offset the damage that has been dealt across the map, ideally. And we have seen players like Hero, for example, just end the game with this counterattack. Just like end the game, just kill like either Shin or Solar or Lambo or Raynor. But as you mentioned, we are lacking a zealot, so it's going to be a little bit less of a presence here early on for Art. It should be a cleaner defense out of Fiant. Fiant is still droning, by the way. This is so greedy. Fiant just now getting his Zerglings out. There's potential damage here. There's potential. Lings, it looks like they will be in time. Again, if we had zealots here as well, like I feel like we could threaten the queens. But now we have enough Zerglings and Fiant defense. Fiant, he does defend, he does hold. Back here across the map, we do have Art getting into his tech of choice, going for a Stargate. Standard opener. Adepts, they move into the mineral line, and they might get a drone. Ooh, not quite. They cancel the shade. It does cancel. So again, no major damage. Art does pull away. And now doing the best he can to just delay to deny the third base. But I would say that so far the damage has been lackluster for Art. Typically we're expecting to trade against Zerglings, to pick them off, to pick them apart. Catch out a couple of drones. So far it's been 1 drone kill. Just the 1. And that was the proxy hatch drone across the map as well. Fianta's force expand on the low ground, a very, very exposed base. Curious if Art is tempted to go for an earlier Twilight Council. Shades into the mineral line. Ooh, does miss a volley, does miss a shot. Getting 1, getting 2 drone kills, but again a bit of miscontrol there by Art. As Art moves in. Yeah, pokes forward, just catching a drone. Again, still no major damage is being dealt here. Fiant is holding well. Defending well. We have our tech of choice going for the early Roach Warren. And with this forward expansion, we can spread people across the map that much faster here. I'm curious. We'll see how aggressive our Fiant plans on being. Again, this time avoiding Lingbane Hydra, going Roaches. Something more robust. Lings, they poke in, they get on top of the battery, not bad. Battery's gonna go down. And we commit to the shade. Ooh, does commit in. There's gonna be 5 queens to defend, a couple of Zerglings as well. Adepts, they don't get any major economic damage, and the queens even survive. Once again, a big loss here for Art. And probes are going down. Yeah, probes are going down. 3 probe kills across the map. Better defense here from Fiant. Better aggression across the map. And that was an expensive loss. And without that battery, we can just counterattack again. Uh-oh. We can counterattack. Now, thankfully, the Oracles are back home to defend. So the Oracles, they should be able to hold on here. But ideally, the Oracles, they want to be across the map. They want to be scouting. They want to be harassing. They want to be getting vision on the tech of choice. And right now, they're stuck. Oof. And now we're moving out. We're rebuilding the battery. Does rebuild the battery. Have we scouted the Roach Warren? We have. Okay. Roach Warren has been scouted. Likewise, Fiant has not quite confirmed the main base. Did see the follow-up, though. Did see the Forge, at least. Okay. Forge was spotted. Standard follow-up. Oh, we saw this before as Art does leave the army idle. We saw this against Art earlier. when he went into the main base with his War Prism, and when he panned away as he went into the main, we see it here as well. So we're going to sustain a little hull damage. So far, Fian cutting workers here at 64. That is 3 base saturation, 4th base and 5th base on the way as well, but I believe just for larva. We'll see if he drones or if he just commits. Yep, we're committing. We're going for the 3 base all in. 3 base all in here at Fians. We're going for drop lords, overlord speed. Drop lords are morphing in for the queens, and it's going to be all or nothing here for Fians. And again, Art has had a shaky game so far here, just falling further behind, finding no damage across the map with the oracles, with the adepts. It's been a shaky game here for Art, and Fians is here to tie things up. Let's go. He's moving out across the map. He starts to wait a little bit longer here for Numerous Carapace. Overlord speed is a ways away, but this is already better for Fians. He wants Art to move out. He wants Art to be active here on the low grounds. He wants Art to expose himself. Now going to be collapsing in. Yeah, it does collapse in, does get us around. Stalkers, they get shut down. Oof, massive pickups. That's what, 5 Stalkers falling. Oh my god. Yeah, so many Stalkers go down. High Templar exposed. Templar does get picked off as well. Massive snipe. There's 4 Templar left. Oh, we'll take a storm to the face. It does take the storm to the face, but again, this should still be more than enough here. Traded well against the army. Denied the 4th. Draw a double drop into the natural. Now, I assume that the drop lords are going to be for the queens, but looks like we're walking the queens instead, and we're dropping lings into the natural. Okay, sure. Interesting. I mean, there are 0 oracles remaining anyway, so I guess it works. Drop into the mineral lines. Lings are coming from behind. High Templar they get surrounded. Massive pickup. Yeah, Templar go down, and now we're down to purely gateway units, and Lings they bust into the mineral lines. They're busting in. Yeah, probes are going down, distracting Art, forcing defensive weapons. Oof. There aren't really that many roaches with the main army, so the main army is lacking that firepower to break through, but it's still wreaking havoc. Yeah, still just getting out of hand. Snowballing out of control. 19 probe kills. Art is going to be forced to counterattack, and all we need is roaches to defend. We just need the roaches back. 9 roaches on the way. We need the roaches. And they're popping out in time. They're popping out in time. We net collapse in the army. Getting us over the Immortal. Yeah, the Immortal gets picked off without the Archon can be chased down as well. Oh. Okay, expensive losses for Art. And Fian just getting further ahead. At this point, he can just drone. He can just drone, saturate, get a Hydrogen, get an Infestation Pit. Yep, there it is. Pit is on the way. I can do what he wants. As the drops are finally being dealt with. And Art has no 4th base. That's all that matters here. There's no 4th expansion. So Art cannot keep up economically. Ooh, even getting caught out in the center. Losing 2 Stalkers. I say 2, losing 3. Up. Oh, not quite. 2. Two Stalkers go down. Artie does get across the map, and he will take a better fight here. Fian getting caught out. Yeah, losing all of his Ravagers, so worst fight for Fian. Fian, where's our larva? Fian is banking 1k, 1k. We've been missing macro cycles here. No injection in the main base, no injection at the natural, no injection at the forward base as well. Do we only have 1 queen? Ooh, he did not rebuild his queens. He's not spending his money. No shot. no shot. After Fian pushed out across the map with his queens earlier, when it came to the attack, he didn't rebuild them. Yeah, I didn't rebuild the queens. No larva, no macro, no production. Base is going to be going down. Art, he's popping off. Art can spend his money. Oh no, not like this. Not like this, Fiant. No. Fiant is getting a hive. Fiant is getting a lurker den as well. Fiant has been teching up, but again, Fiant just he has no production. He has no macro. He still will catch out the army, but this is closer than it should be. Much closer than it should be. Losing a mineral line and an expansion. Another warp into the main base. More drones going to be going down. We're getting rowdy, papi. Oh no. As Fiance is getting pulled apart here, the damage is stacking up. Art now taking an economic lead. Because of all this chaos that's ensuing, it means that Art can now expand and get a fourth base. This should never have happened. And again, Fiant still can't spend his money. Like, he's... no. I mean, even worse than before. Now he has 0 queens. 0 queens, 0 injections. No larva, papi. Now making 13 hydras. And again, Fiant, he had a massive lead earlier. He had a massive lead. He was looking very comfortable. He was ahead. And still has tech on his side. That is true, right? We have a hive. We have lurker upgrades on the way, like lurker tech. Once we build up those lurkers, it is going to be a stronger force here for Fiant. But this is very messy. It's very, very messy here. As he has to re-drone, resaturate. Art is moving out. Lurkers not ready. They're not morphed in. And look at how many storms there are. Oh my god. There are so many. How 7? 8 High Templar. So many Templar, so many storms. Oof. And this army cannot engage. Like, the Roach Hydra cannot push into this. No shot. Oh god, the storms are crazy. Lurkers are denied. Massive storms on the Hydras. And Art from the brink of defeat, papi. He was out of this game. Fiant did so well earlier, breaking the expansion, crippling the economy. GG gets called the 1G out of Fiant, and Art takes a 2-0 lead in the series. Oof, GG. Ay. That game hurts. That hurts, papi. As Fiant, he was doing everything right. Like, Fiant, he was doing everything correct. Fiant, he was able to take a lead himself. He was able to cripple the economy, break the expansion. He was taking up behind it. He was droning as well. It was all fine. But as we mentioned, Fiant, after that aggression, after that push, he didn't rebuild his queen, so he actually had no injections. And when it came to when it mattered most, he could not spend his money. He could not spend his money. He had no larva to do so. He was just banking up 1,000 minerals, over 1,000 gas as well. Despite all the tech, despite the economy that he had, he just couldn't do anything with it. GG, well played. And RT does claw his way back in. And with that, we're getting into game number 3. Going to be loading into Ruby Rock. Oh, aye. GG, well played. Chat, Art won? Yes. I did win. But here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the Red Protoss player. The Red Protoss himself representing Quasar, leading the series 2-0. It is Art. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Swedish Zerg player, the Yellow Zerg, representing Team Brody. It is Fiant. And again, Fiant, he had that last game. He had that game. He did all the right things. The aggression was solid. It was just the follow-up, and I would say just nerves getting to him as well, right? When you're in a tournament like this, especially, you know, as an up-and-coming player, right? Like in a tournament like Rising Star, the pressure is on, and tunnel visioning happens. 100%. It does. It even happens to players like Hero, players like Rainer as well, where you just hyper fixate on something and you don't like think of the bigger picture. Does happen to the best players in the world and happens to everyone, right? It does happen to everyone. And yeah, Fiant just, again, the queens, like the injections that did slip his mind, was maybe getting a little bit too comfortable after taking a lead. Now it's time to run it back. Run it back. Hatch block. So 2 games in a row going for the hatch block. Once again, as a reminder, there's no early pool. There's no early pool, there's no early gases. It is hatch into gas pool out of Fiant, so a very greedy, quote-unquote greedy build. Of course, the goal here is to once again force a reaction, disrupt the build here of Art, force out a Zealot, force Voids to be pulled, and delay the economy. And I will say that if you recall in the last game, Art had a really lackluster response to this. Art, he didn't get any economic damage done across the map. Yes, he forced out some Zerglings, but they were very late Zerglings. Like, Fiant was being quite greedy, to be honest, and Art failed to do counter damage, and Art fell behind early on. This is one of the reasons why Fiant had such a strong mid game, because of Art's struggling or his floundering early game. Lackluster early game, I should say. And we'll see if Fiant can pull that off again. We'll see if he can have a strong start and this time have a stronger follow-up. For now, we do have our double adept follow-up. 2 adepts are moving out. A hatchery is cancelled. Once again, we only see the singular Zealot response here by Art. And with only 2 adepts, Fiant can get away with minimal defenses. We saw it last game. As Art does poke in. So far forcing out some Evo chambers. No major damage yet though. Forcing lost mining time. Cancelled buildings. Shades into the main. Oh, Lings are waiting for him though, and Art is going to get punished. Yeah, Art is going to be locked down. Losing one, losing both adepts. That he will lose both. Likewise, Stargate opener back at home. So I'm just following this up with the standard build here, going Stargates into Oracle, into a 3rd base, into Twilight Council. Once again, we'll keep an eye on the Twilight Council timing, bearing in mind, welcome to Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock does favor aggression. If we saw, for example, the same build out of Fiant, it should hit even harder here on this map. Not just breaking the 4th base, but breaking the 3rd base as well. So we're leaning towards roaches once again. Oh, Lings don't find a way in. Casito. Zerglings are denied. Art moves out. There's that early Roach one, as we had expected here, especially on these smaller maps. Roach play is that much more. That is just that much more threatening. Oh, but alas, nothing to defend here at the 3rd base. Catching out 2 drones. Nice damage here with the Oracle. 3 drones going down, getting up to almost 4. Oof, Jesus. Almost 4 kills. Not bad. 3rd base now on the way. Now we have a 2nd Oracle. And again, it's still on Art to find some damage. To get some damage done. As we have an Oracle towards the main, Oracle towards the 3rd, and the adepts through the center. Spores repositioning, going for the stasis. Adepts stay shade in. Do come into shade, catching out 1 drone. Getting 1 drone, stasis trap has not yet connected. Some rough positioning here with the adepts, but despite that, that's going to be 4 drone kills. And 4 drones going down. Oh no! Ooh, the drones do come back a little bit too soon. That's 3 drones getting caught out. Not bad. Art is doing damage. It's getting damage done. And there it is. 2 base all in. Sorry, I say 2 base all in. I believe this should once again be off of a 3 base economy. We'll keep an eye on Fiant. But numerous carry pace is on the way. This is for a German taxi. Queen's going to be loading up roaches as well. We do see that Fiant does cut workers at 49, so that is under 3 base saturation, is around 2.5 base. 2.5 base economy. And Art is moving in. Was there no spores in the main? Oh my god. Yeah, no spores in the main base. Drone's going to be going down. Critical damage in the main. 6 drone kills. Ay. But this also means that there's going to be that much less to defend back at home. Less station traps, less pulsar beams. Back at home, what do you have to defend? No batteries? Oh. And we're being greedy here. We're taking up heavily, going for the Temple Archives, into Charge, into Gateway Explosion. These gateways seem late. Okay, later gateways here. Fiant is going for the all-in, and Art is not ready for this. Art's done a lot of counter damage, but here we go. The roaches have arrived. Zelts are going down. And Fiant's can he break through? He can. Yeah, here come the queens. They get dropped in. They zone away the oracles. Third base is forfeit. Can we catch out the stalkers? There's no blink. Yeah, no blink available. Charge does not. Charge is not ideal defensively this early on against these kind of all-ins. The third base should fall. And behind this Spire tech. We're going for the Spire as well. Why not, Pappy? Why not? Azar cannot defend. He was just so greedy in the aftermath. He had a really strong start, by the way. Art, he was killing workers. He was catching out lings. He was trading very efficiently. But just so greedy on re-rockable maps as well. It's crazy. It's insane. And Fiant backs off. I do think there's a world where Fiant can morph in Ravagers and try to pick away at the defenses here at the natural base and try to force his way through. But regardless, Fiant just backs off, takes his lead, and this time should be able to come back home with the Queens eventually to build up the 4th base. Yeah, Queens are coming back home, and this time the Queens did not die either. So we have 4 Queens, plenty of injections. 4th base can be thrown down. We have a Ling drop here towards the natural. Now, Fiant has fumbled a lead before in this series. That is true. Not wrong, Pappy. Not wrong. But so far, we have all like the correct moves here. All the pieces are in place. Meter production is well underway. And currently, there's no good answer for the mutas. Remember, there's no Blink. There's no Phoenixes. There are some Archons and there's some Storms. Mutas being revealed. Yeah, they chase down the oracles instead. They do give chase. They catch out 2. 1, 2, almost all 3 oracles go down. Very nice catch here from Fiant. Likewise, back at home, we do see the Fiant chose not to get a 4th base. Interesting. No 4th expansion. Despite having the money for it, we do have 800 minerals. So we have the money for it. Instead of producing purely army, there we go. Does 4 Saturn Archon. That's 3 High Templar going down. Very nice. And he's just going for the 1-2 punch. Just going for the 1-2 punch here. Fiant could macro out of this, but no. Just commits, doubles down. Getting a little bit of supply blocks. That's fine. It's okay. Oof. And there's going to be maybe 1 defensive storm, if that. Yeah, not even. Not even. As the third base is going to be forfeit for a second time. There we go. We have the 1 storm. The 1 storm, Pappy. And that's all there is. That's all there is here. The Archons, they struggle. The Immortals exposed. GG gets called. And Fiant will make a series out of this, fighting back and putting a point on the board. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, hyper aggression here out of Fiant as a reaction to losing so much. Like, Art had a really strong start, killing so many drones to the oracles, the adept harass, stasis trap going off as well. Very nice damage there by Art, forcing the all-in, and Art was woefully underprepared. Despite doing so much damage, Art was being so greedy in the aftermath of that. He was doing all this damage, and behind it, he was taking up into Storm, he was taking up into a gateway explosion, going Charge, not Blink as the follow-up as well. So just a very, very weak defense early on, and he forced the aggression out of Fiant, and Fiant snowballed out of control. GG. GG, well played with that. With that, Fiant, he will fight back. He will force a game 4. Let's go. Going to be loading into White Rabbits, and we'll see if Fiant can keep this going. Again, it's a little bit bittersweet. Like, I can see a world where Fiant is up 2-1. I can see where he's up in this series 2-1 just because of how game 2 played out. But here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the Swedish Zerg player. We have the yellow Zerg. Oh, putting a point on the board and fighting back in the series for Team Roddy. It is Fiant. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player. We have representing Team Quasar, leading the series 2-1. It is Art. Here we go. Oh my god, as Fiant does open up early gas. Yeah, gas first into the pool, into a very late expansion. Hyper aggression here by Fiant. With this, we can go into early link speed into a link flood. We can go into a Bane bust, or we can go into a roach rush, or we can go into early lair. So Fiant does have options. How are we spending this gas? Now, he only has 2 in gas here, which is interesting to me. So we're not rushing into link speed. We're not really too concerned about rushing into link speed, actually. Interesting. Is this for a lair? So gas, the early gas is revealed, links are revealed as well. But I believe that Fiant is going to be expanding behind this, right? He's about to have 100 gas. But the queen is on the way, so he actually can't make a lair. He pulls out. Okay. Now we see. Pulls out of gas. It's only going to be for link speed. There's no fast lair. There's no Bane bust. There's no roach rush. Just link speed. And we'll see if we can force an overreaction. Back at home, we do see that Art does chrono out the first Zealots, it gets a second gateway, gets a Cybercore, all before the Nexus. So this is a pretty strong reaction here by Art, considering that Fiant is not going for a rush. Fiant is droning. He's droning up behind this as much as he can. So this is a cheeky start here by Fiant, but the real question is, can he survive the counterattack? Like, can he minimize losses? Can we get out of this ahead? Since that Stargate follow-up. There's that Stargate. Likewise, the Overlord does confirm this, so he's fully aware of the tech of choice. Is aware it's not going to be a Twilight Council follow-up instead. Back at home, we're droning, we're setting up. Extra Queen's going to be on the way. And it's only 1 adept as well. Like, there's no gateway counterattack either. I mean, this does supply block Fiant, I suppose. But Art doesn't really have much aggressive potential here, despite going 2 gate. So it does feel a little bit lackluster. Lings, they poke in, they just nibble away at the Cybercore. Artie commits across the map. Going for the 3rd. They're hoping to force a cancel. Not so sure we can, though. I mean, the hatchery's getting low. Okay. Hatchery does get low, and we will force that cancellation. Not bad. Doesn't kill the drone, but does cancel the 3rd. Behind this, that is a Twilight Council on 2 bases, by the way. Huh. Okay. So we're going for the early Twilight Council. Gateways have been thrown down as well. Late 3rd expansion here by Art. I'm leaning more towards Glaives here, but once again, just like game 1, I believe it was, we could just see early blink. What's it going to be? He pulls out. Yeah, it's Glaives. Yeah, he pulls out a gas here, just 2 and 2. Should be Glaive Adepts, but a much more committed variation. And there it is. As I mentioned, because glaive apes are less gas intensive, you typically only have 2 workers mining gas. So you have 2 here and 2 here, so it does scream glaives. But Fiant is going roaches, so he's playing safe. Fiant is not cutting corners. Fiant has the tools to defend. He has the tools. Oof. Yes, Fiant doesn't quite collapse on the adept, but the third base is very late. Very, very late here for Art. Late third expansion. This will take away from the aggression as well, as this is not a 2-base all-in, but it's still quite committed. Fiant has yet to piece it all together. But hey, does surround one of the adepts. And it does get one. Trying to collapse on the other. A little bit messy here. It does get 2 adepts. And can we get 3? Oh. Looks like he can. Okay. 3 adepts go down. Not bad. Behind this Fiant, he does run up to 2.5 base saturation, running up a little bit further. Roach speed is going to be on the way. Once again, very roach heavy here at a Fiant. Oh, actually going for the Spire behind this. Okay, bold move. I mean, this is going to work wonders just because Blink is not on the way. Oh, sorry, Blink is delayed. It's going to be on the way afterwards. And the armies, they pass by each other. Lings, they hit the third at the same time. Adepts, they get across the map, and there are no roaches to defend. Oh. Yeah, roach is not quite ready. Queen's going to be going down, shading into the middle line. Drones do full, massive damage. 7 drones going down to 8 drone kills. This is getting out of hand. At the same time, across the map, Adepts, Lings, they do surround both Adepts. Okay, they surround the Adepts. Probe's going to be falling as well, but Oracles, they will defend back at home. And this is too much. This is far too much here. 12 drone kills. Oh my god. And the Spire, he gets it. Yeah, scouts the Spire. He does force a cancel as well. Massive pickup. He's forcing the Roach all in. Back at home, immortal production has begun. We need batteries, though. We do need batteries. I'm thinking about the game on Ruby Rock. As I say, once again, straight into the natural. Fighting on the drone, 15. Okay, 15 kills. 15 drone kills with that. Fiant does fall behind economically, and Art back across the map. Getting to Blink. Blink, more immortals. We're still lacking batteries here, if we're assuming that there's going to be an all-in. But Fiant is droning. Oh. Yeah, Fiant is droning up. He's taking as well. That's a bold decision, considering just how much damage has been dealt. But maybe Fiant just doesn't really feel confident in how large his army is. Only 14 roaches. And only 14. So Fiant, he's droning up a little bit further. I wouldn't be surprised if Fiant just drones up to 3-base saturation and goes for a later all-in instead, in the hope that maybe Art is too greedy. Yeah, Fiant does try to counterattack, trading with Stalkers at the same time. Art moving in. Does try to commit. Blink is done. Blink is complete. Fiant trying to collapse on the army. Gets us off the sentries. Sentries will go down. And cashing the sentries. Now getting us over the immortals as well. The Prism has arrived. We'll say both. Just barely. I'll pick up a Art. Pulls away the immortals. Lings are deflected. Oh, we have some bored roaches across the map though. Okay. Roaches, they waddle in. They waddle to the bases, they do burrow. Alright, so did you notice? Yeah, there go, observers on the way. He knows. He does notice what's going on. Fiant buying time, catching out more drones. Not bad. 5 more drones going down. Sorry, 5 more probes going down. Oh, as that prism is getting very low, it's going to be zoned away. And the Immortals, they fall. Massive pickoffs here. He gets one, he gets two. One Immortal goes down. Collapsing on the rest of the Stalkers. And we spoke earlier how it felt like Fiant was going to drone for 3 bases and then just commit. And that's what we're seeing here. Oh, very nice snipe. And Prism gets caught out. Fiant does have that 4th expansion, but still just making nothing but Lynx and Roaches. A couple of drones here and there. But mainly his Roach army. Catching out Stalkers. Splash damage is on the way, but it's not ready yet. Ooh, and Fiant, he does find a way in. Oh, he tries to. Does try to find a way in. Catching out a couple of workers. Barring those Zerglings. And just being as annoying as possible. And Fianti's still not saturating. It's still 66. 66 drones. Still 3 base saturation. Still making purely Lingbane Roach. And again, the goal here is that Art is maybe too greedy. He is building up Colossus. We did see Art take some rough fights earlier, of course, on top of the map. Did take some rough fights. Still going to be close. Yo, shout out to your bro, Chris. Este Chris, papi. Oh, we can look at that afterwards. Oh. But thank you so much. Thank you so much, papi. Of course, they dropped the PTR notes after the podcast last night. God damn it. Every time. Every time. Ay, ay, ay. Of course, papi, of course. Here we go, Roaches, they do counterattack here top left. May not be pushing in. Ooh, nice force fields. Yeah, so far so good. Choking up with... Oh no, they get in! Oh my god. Couple of veins do roll in. Force fields being broken. Once again, nice layered force fields out of Art. Oh my god. He's holding. Art is holding, he's defending. If you recall, again, Fiant is completely all in. Fiant, he has no follow plan here. He has no further tech, no further droning. Just trying to max out. Maxing out with Lingbane, Roach, Ravager. I will say that we are now running out of force fields. That was a lot of force fields spent earlier. Ooh, we can see him being go down to the open. That's it. Okay, no, we have more. Yeah, we have more force fields, but there's so many Banelings left over. You have a massive amount of Banelings. They're going to be rolling in. Sentries going down. Massive pickups. Catching out the Sentries. Now going for the Colossus. Can he break through? He can. There we go. 1, 2. Colossus so close to falling. Does get both. 2 Colossi go down. Stalkers, they blink into the army. Crazy blink, by the way. He blinks in. And Stalkers go down. Yeah, big misjudge there from Art. Did misjudge the fight. Bleeding out a lot of Stalkers. He will still hold on. That 1 Colossus in the back line. He's holding. Oh my god. He's holding on, Bappy. Catching out some of the Ravagers. Alright, we gotta be careful. We gotta calm down. Calm down. Meanwhile, a big shout out to Seagrail in the chat. God, Bappy God. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Seagrail, for subscribing for 40 months. Bappy, 40 months. Crazy, crazy. Thank you for all the StarCraft. Thank you for all the support, Bappy. Thank you. We appreciate it. Este Seagrail. Oh. Oh, Asfiant does catch another Colossus. Very nice. Does catch a reinforcing Colossi. There's still only 1 Colossus left. Nice force fields, catching at the Ravager. And what's that? 5 Stalkers? 6 Roaches. 5, 6 Roaches. Again, we're still getting rowdy. Art still can't really maintain a greater economy. And likewise, has had some pretty rough losses here. I'd say shade in, but there's nothing to kill. There's nothing to kill. Fiant does start droning for the first time in minutes. 6 drones. 6 drones on the way. Fiant still stuck on Ling, Bane, Roach, Ravager. Still on it. Oof. Yeah, seeing Roach, they do counterattack. They do try to break through that front door. Knocking down a couple of zealots. At the same time, Lings, they bust into the middle line on the left-hand side. There are stalkers to defend. Art is ready, somewhat. And once again, I mean, I have to give credit where credit is due. Art, his force fields have been on point, but does he have enough behind this? With 2 Colossus, he should. And with 2 Colossi, ooh, does take some bites to the face. Stalkers, they blink into the army once again. Like, it's still insane. Still very expensive trades here for Art, blinking into the Roach Ravager. Will hold, will survive, at the same time did defend his 4th expansion. Art is holding, that was up to 3 Colossus, but he's lost so many Stalkers. So many Stalkers just went down. That was 12 Stalkers falling. Yeah, 14 left. Split in 2. That was half the Stalker count going down. Meanwhile, we do see Fiant getting ready for wave 4 at this point. Like, what? Round 4, Bappy. Keep it going. Oof. That tries to break in. Gonna be zoned away. Gonna be zoned back. Meanwhile, Lings, they do trade well here, catching out some Stalkers. Oof. And once again, we do see R was inattentive. Wasn't attentive, turns back around. And is Fiant ever going to say, I mean, I don't think he needs to, honestly. Like, Fiant is almost maxed. He's almost maxed out on Ling Roach. And Art has been trading and losing a lot of Stalkers in the process. These have been expensive losses here for Art. It's been cheap losses for Fiant, Pappy. True. He can keep this going. Fiant, he has been trading well enough. Roaches, they do start step in. It's 1, 2, 3 Stalkers getting into the middle line. At the same time, the main army does push forward. We're going for the 4th. So we're going for the 5th, I should say. And just straight to the 3rd. Oh my god. Does go straight in. Art's out of position. Archon gets caught. Biles, they do connect, catching out the sentry. Very nice Bile. The Archon's exposed. Another Archon goes down. Lings, they bust into the main base. 19 probes going down. Art is getting pulled apart. The economy, Pappy. Not like this. Oof. Spiles, they just keep connecting. The Stalkers, they just keep taking everything to the face. He blinks in. Does give chase, does catch a couple of Ravagers. So we'll punish the retreat. But that's still 22 workers going down. There's still Roaches across the map as well. Still causing chaos. Still being a distraction. And Fiant is remaxed. He's remaxed. Now it's time for round 6. Time to push out again. And as you mentioned, Art cannot keep up with these trades. Not like this. Eventually, Fiant was just able to just batter him down, wear him down over time. Fiant did it. Who needs lurkers? Who needs lunkers, Bappy? Who needs hive tech? Just layer tech, Ling, Bane, Roach, Ravager. Let's go. That's all we need. There's 1 sentry left with the army, so limited force fields. Yeah, I think just collapse in. Cannon should. And he goes for it. Yeah, he does go for it. Bailings, they take down the final sentry. Stalkers, they get annihilated. Colossus are exposed. And Fiant can just force his way through. There we go. 2 Colossi go down. GG gets called, and we are going to the ace match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. We're tied up 2-2 here. We're going to the ace match. We're going to game 5. Again, intense back and forth here. For a while, I thought that maybe Fiant, the aggression was subsiding and it wasn't able to get enough damage done, but we did see some questionable moves out of Art when it came to blinking forward and losing so many Stalkers. Because he didn't retain his Stalker count, again, he couldn't actually build up his own army to anything threatening. He was just stuck on a very small army for so long because his fights and his trades were so shaky and so brutal, to the point where he just couldn't afford it anymore. In the end, he was outscaled. GG, well played. And with that, we're going all the way to the ace match. We're going to be loading into Tourmaline, the final game of our best of 5. Let's go. Let us go. Getting into the ace match. And spawning in the top right corner of Tourmaline, we have the yellow Zerg player. We have the Swedish Zerg. Oh. The Swedish Zerg representing Team Ruddy, it is Fiant. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player representing Quasar. It is Art, who was up 2-0, and Fiant has brought it all the way back. And I'll be honest, I can still see a world where Fiant could have 3-1'd. I'm still thinking about game 2, where Fiant had a massive advantage and a massive lead on the Old Republic, and did end up losing that lead, but has brought us all the way to the ace match, brought us all the way to game 5. Show us what you got as we're moving out for another hatch block. Another hatch block back. Oh. As from here, the drone does move in, setting up for the block. Fiant does expand first, so it's going to be once again a hatch into our following tech. We've seen the same opener every game since game 2, actually, out of Fiant. Once again, forcing a 2-gate response out of Art. We are settling in. Once again, we're forcing lost mine time out of these workers. We're forcing out a Zell. We're forcing out a second gateway and the Cybercore, and just a delay on the Nexus, so damage is being done. Usually what I try to emphasize from here is whether or not Fiant can survive the follow-up, can survive the counterattack, but Art hasn't really been counterattacking too much. As you can see here, just single Zelled into Adepts, and when it comes to the Adept aggression, it has been lackluster so far this series. Hasn't really ever gotten much damage done. Now, the rush distance background is shorter on this map on Tourmaline, so it is going to be much more threatening. On top of that, Fiant was forced to expand at the unnatural location, so there are actually some things here that are actually leaning towards Art, and he can make use of them, right? Expose natural expansion and shorter rush distance by ground. These depths, they have potential. They haven't gotten damage done up until this point in this series, but maybe that changes here. As it upside do shade in. Catching out one drone. Catching out one. 2 drones going down. Okay, decent pickups already. Catching out 2 workers. Shaving off some Zerglings. Shading in between the bases. It does get caught out there. Oh my god. Nice catch here by Fiant. Very nice. Yeah, surrounds both Adepts and should bring them both down. I say that Art, he does trade as best he can with them regardless. Finally, we'll lose an Adept, but only one. Impressive here. He was locked down. He should have lost both here, but one Adept does survive. And now we're up to 3. Now, this is the aggression that I wanted out of the entire series, by the way. Out of game 2, out of game 3, out of game 4. This is what I wanted. We get a damage done early on, and we just build it up. We just snowball out of control. Drone's going to be going down in the main base, and now we can see Fiant getting punished. Ay, ay, ay. 4 drone kills, 0 mining in the main. Adepts are giving chase. He wants the queen. Yeah, the queen is exposed. The queen is tempting, and one more volley. The queen goes down. Massive pick off, and this is too much. This is far too much damage early on. Link speed will allow Fiant to survive and clean up these adepts, but this is still critical damage in the early game. Critical damage, man. Look, we're not done. He's not done, Pappy. 5 drone kills. 5 drones. 6 drones. 7. Do we get 8? Do we get 8? Do we get 9? Oh, missed target firing. Missed target firing. He shot 1 drone once each. We could have stacked these up here. This could have been another extra drone kill. So a bit of miscontrol there by Art. Did misclick. The weakened drones were within range of the adept, by the way. But regardless, still critical damage. There's still 14 drones. Oh, no. 14 drone kills and a queen and 16 lings for 6 adepts, a Zelda and a probe. A very strong start here for Art. The strongest we've seen so far. And things are looking bleak here for Fiant. If this was not a tournament game, if this was a ladder game, Fiant, he's already tapped out. He's already searching for the next game at this point. Like that was game-winning damage. Now there are avenues to recover in this game, especially if Art makes mistakes. Like that's kind of what you're hoping for. You're hoping that Art makes mistakes, or you can somehow force mistakes out of your opponents. But otherwise, this is it. Like this, we have a 1 base economy. We're stuck on a 1 base economy, whereas Art is claiming a 3rd on 42 workers, double the worker count. And we're still fighting more damage. 2 more drones. And again, it took the ace match, but Art, he finally doubled down on early game aggression with gateway units. Again, it is easier on this map because of the size of the map, and likewise because of the natural location as well. So there were other aspects that were coming into this that were factoring in, of course. But if this army moves out, 5 adepts and 2 oracles, I don't think Fiant can stop this. Fiant, he's got 2 queens, right? Yeah, 2 queens and a handful of zerglings. Here comes Arts. The best that Fiant can hope for is to force Art back home. If he can backstab and hit the Nexus, maybe force Art to turn around. Otherwise, Artie pokes in. Going for the economy when I feel like we should be diving on the queens. Regardless, does go for drone kills. 5 drones go down. Lings, they do catch some reinforcing probes, some transferring workers. Ooh, queen goes down. And again, I feel like we could have used these oracles to specifically dive on the queens. You dive on the queens, focus them down, then you have a stronger adept presence. So a messy assault here from Arts. At the same time, Lings, they do wreak havoc. They do get 5 probe kills. So there's at least some counter damage, but again, Art still massively ahead. So massively ahead. As Arslan moving out with his main army. This time back at home he has some nice Sim City, battery, stalker, adept, pylon. Like this time he's secure. That's all he needs. Alright, secure. Commits across the map, pushing in towards a 3rd. There's a couple of roaches to defend. Couple of roaches, but again they can be focused down. Oh god, Link's like, massive stasis as well. Yeah, stasis goes off. Link counterattack does catch some stalkers, so some miscontrol here by Art. I'll be honest, because of stasis trap, I feel like Art could just kept pushing. Just could have kept punishing the 3rd. Now comes back. It looks like he was just distracted. Blinks in. The stasis trap's about to run out. Has to respect the trap. He needs to respect it. Fancy moves out of art. Blinking over the ravine. And again, Fiant, he played the series out well, and I still see a world where he could have 3-1, by the way. Still thinking about the Old Republic. At the same time, though, Archie did adapt very well here in the final game. Recognizing how greedy Fiant has been the entire series in the early game, and he punishes so much and so hard. And with that, there's nothing left. All the things go down. Roach is thereafter. GG, well played, and Art will claim the series 3-2, advancing on to the lower bracket finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played, congratulations. RT will claim the series. And again, an intense back and forth here in the final game. I would say that it ended quite quickly. Winding up back here, Art finally did recognize that Fiant was cutting so many corners in the early game defense when it came to link production, when it came to droning as heavily as he was as well. But it wasn't just that. As we mentioned, smaller map, and did force the unnatural as well. So there are other kind of other factors at play that allowed for more aggression to be dealt, for more damage to be done, and for aggression to be favored. And with that, Art did just pull Fiant apart, killing 14 drones at the start of the game. Insane damage. As he mentions, if this was any other game, that's an into GG, but because it was the ace match, Fiant, he had to play it out. He had to try to play it out, to hope, to pray that maybe something would go awry. But in the end, Art, was able to, for the most part, just kind of cruise his way in. GG. GG. With that, congratulations, RT does advance on, and with that, we have our next series. It is going to be the lower bracket finals. The lower bracket finals here between who? Between Art and GgMaChine, another ZVP. Here we go. Momento as we do set up our next match. Okay, so another ZVP here. Again, GgMaChine, he was favored to at least make it to the top 2 of this tournament. Still is favored, by the way, as well, but you can never count Art out. Here we go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the red Protoss player representing Quasar. It is Art. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player, the blue Zerg player himself, representing Stouty Balls. It is GgMaChine. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are now open. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. Let's go. If y'all lose this match, he's going to be molding over losing the game. He should have won. I mean, I wouldn't say that. I mean, he said GG well played, like, you know, accepted said loss. And if he's too much, I'm molding over it more than Fiant would be, maybe. I don't. What could have been, Batman, what could have been. But regardless, here we go. We are getting into our fresh series. We're getting into our best of 5. Welcome to Winter Madness. And again, if you're in the chat, predictions are still open. I would say coming into this that GgMaChine, he is going to be leading this. He's going to be the favorite player in the series. But again, Art has been looking very impressive over the past 6 months. Like this year, 2026 has been Art's year. It has been crazy to see Art take it to the top players in the world, take it to Koreans, and take them down as well on a semi-regular basis. So Art has been improving a lot this year. Likewise, to be fair, so is GgMaChine, right? I would say that the gap in skill between GgMaChine and Young Yakov is smaller than ever, right? Previously, there was a larger gap. It was like Wayne, Young Yakov, and GgMaChine, right? Those were the top 3 Zerg players in said CIS region. But in more recent times, Wayne has been Wayne is like pseudo-retired, right? Like Wayne, he barely plays in anything nowadays. You still see him every now and then in like regional tournaments. Like every now and then you see Wayne playing. But it's very rare. It's very, very rare. Like for the most part, I feel like Wayne, he hasn't made like a proper announcement, but like he is like stepping away, it feels like. And Young Yakov kind of like rose up as the best Zerg. And GgMaChine, he's like nipping at his heels, right? He's just behind him. Which is a little bit sad in the sense that, you know, that big Wayne fan, less so Raditz fan, but big Vanya fan. True, true. Estevania. but has been stepping away. As behind this, we're going for just a straight up Twilight Council opener. Okay, this is quite rare. Twilight Council opener out of art. There was a little bit of answer between the two players here that was ongoing. But here we see a Twilight Council opener into what looks like DT. So we're going for a Robo into Dark Shrine. I bring this up just because we are staying in gas. If we had pulled out, then I would be considering Glaive F. So we're staying in, so it should be something more dedicated. Yeah, much more dedicated. So we're keeping on our players. Do we go into Glaives or Dark Templar or Dark Shrine? We do have a 4-gate setup. It is Glaives, but we're staying in gas. So 4-gate Glaive. This could be both. There's a world, it's not uncommon to go Glaive Depths plus a Dark Shrine as well, so we'll keep an eye on art. Regardless, very committed play here from our Protoss player, and it's on GgMaChine to confirm what's going on, as so far he has no idea. So far he does not know. Back at home, going for a zone Eva chamber. Ooh, going +1 melee. This means that there's a very low chance that we see a Roach Warren and a Bailey Nest. Very, very low chance. It looks like Link Queen here by GgMaChine.
Newly birthed queen ready.
Ah, the Abathur voice pack. And here comes Art. Art, he is moving out. You'll have excess setups to work with. Shading across the map. Now we see a Roach Horn being thrown down, but this is much later. And Art is here. What do we have to defend? We have 4 Zerglings. We got 4 Zerglings and 4 Queens. Let's go. All right, let's go. Adepts have arrived. They bust into the bases. Boys are going to be evacuated here at the 3rd. Shading to the natural. How many drones do we get? How many drone kills? Ooh, so far 2. Yeah, 3, 4, 5 drones going to be going down. This is very quickly getting out of hand. Yeah, 5 drone kills. Shades into the main base. Timbers to the shade. Links are trickling in with us. Oh, the positional play there. The positioning here is brutal. And more mining is denied. And remember, we saw that prison, we saw more warpins. Yeah, more warpins, more commitments. With that, we shade further in. Down into the natural. Lings attempt to surround. Service area is denied. And can we break into the natural mineral line? Can he get in? Yeah, GG. GG gets called critical damage, and Art, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. We do see Art taking a lead. Again, a hyper aggression here by Art. And as we were emphasizing, GgMaChine, 1, he failed to scout. 2, he went Eva chamber first. +1 melee. Ling Queen struggles against Master Depths. We saw no Baneling Nest, and of course a late and delayed Roach Warren. It was almost like a reactive Roach Warren, but it was too late to defend. A critical damage dealt. GG. GG, well played. GgMaChine being a little bit greedy here, not confirming what was going on and not playing it safe either, gets caught with his pants down. The pants were down, and with that, Art takes a lead. Now we're loading to game number 2. Let's go. Gonna be loading into the Old Republic. Meanwhile, canoya, papi, buenos dias, buenos dias. I know it's quite late in Europe, by the way. Get some sleep, papi, get some sleep. But good to see you. Good to see you. Take care, papi. Take care. Spawning in the bottom hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss player himself, representing Quasar, leading the series 1-0. It is Art. And spawning in the right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player. The blue Zerg player himself, representing Stony Bulls. It is GgMaChine. So, gracias, Hansma. Gracias. Much love, much love. I do appreciate the cast, as GgMaChine does go pool first here. Okay. Does go for the 15 pool timing here, so very early pool into potentially early aggression. We're going to be going for a bit of a later expansion here, but with these early lings, we can try to catch an early pylon, for example. A pylon and get some damage done early on. It should just be pool expand, though, not into gas. Yeah. So pool first into the hatchery, into a later and delayed gas geyser. The probe should confirm, and this should force out early zealots. Okay. Spawning pool spotted. Gas now being taken. I'm curious to see where this gas is going to be spent. So a couple things here. Usually when you delay your gases this much, you skip link speed. That is the case in other matchups, and I know link speed has a little bit less value here in ZVP. So curious to see if we try to do something a little bit more sinister with how we spend our gas. But now we have 6 links. 6 links are on the way. They're moving out. Back at home, Art, it looks like he's going to be waiting for the Cybercore to finish. So there's potential damage here. Uh-oh. There's potential. Again, Art, he chose not to get a Zealot upon seeing the early pull. I believe we should be able to pull the wall. But there it is! Roach War. Now we see what the... no, wait, hold on. Did we get scattered? RT did. He saw the Roach War. And so, again, it was going to be a Roach Rush, which makes sense why the gas was so late to go for a Roach All-In. Got scattered, forced to cancel, pulls out of gas, and back across the map. Lings, they do chip away here at the initial gateway, but we have a full wall. We have a full wall off. And so far, Art, he's holding, he's defending, he's scattered well. Link speed now on the way, we pull out of gas, and so far it's been a bit of a shaky start for GgMaChine. It's been shaky. Oh, does get a probe. 2. Okay. 2 probes going down, nice pickoffs. Link's gonna be cleaned up. But at least the Lings, they get some value, right? They get some value here. As I'm getting deja vu. No, Twilight Council's on the way. Alright, are we going to go into the same build? This time we're pulling out a gas though. So, if you recall, there's something that really did catch me off guard last game, which was the fact that we stayed 3 and 3 in gas, which is why I was like, are we going for like Glaive Adepts plus DTs? Instead, it was just more committed. We had just doubled down and gone for the Robo, the Warp Prism, and just extra Adepts, extra Warp Ins to just commit even harder, and again, it worked out well. Here, we can see we actually did pull out a gas. It is 2 and 2, so this is Glaive Adepts, but do you notice something? For this build, there is no Robo. There is no Robo, so there's no Warp Prism, there's no additional reinforcements. We're only warping in from back at home. This is not as committed as last game, which means we can expand. This is not a 2-base all-in. The probe does move out to claim a Nexus. Basically, the goal of this variation of build is to make it look more standard, to make it look like it's a more regular game, and that GgMaChine skips the Roach Warren. But this time, earlier Roach Warren. This was at like, what, 345-ish? 345 Roach Warren timing, as opposed to last game, which was at 430. It was at 430 last game. It was too late. It was too late for the Roach Warren. It did not factor in. This time, earlier Roach Warren. This time, a stronger defense. We'll see. We'll see how GgMaChine is able to react and respond. Because already GgMaChine is cutting workers at 40. Cutting workers early on. Links are amassing instead. There's that Roach production. GgMaChine, he didn't see much, by the way. He scattered the 3rd. It looks like we're just going for our own all-in. Okay. Yeah, blindly GgMaChine, he's just massing up Ling Roach, he's massing up an army. Adepts are moving out, gets spotted by the Overlord, and GgMaChine, he's more than ready. This time he's ready for it. So he's walling off. Adepts say bust into the 3rd. They fail to catch the Queen. Yeah, Queen is not called out. Lings, they do hit the 3rd base, but there is a full setup there. The battery, the Adepts, they try to shade in. Ooh, they get caught out. They get locked down. You have massive losses here for Art. Losing all the Adepts. He does shade into the main base. He gets maybe 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4 drone kills. One more shot. Doesn't click. It doesn't focus fire, but there are 3 drone kills for a mass amount of Adepts. Better trade for GgMaChine. That was 9 Adepts. 9 Adepts going down. And now we can counterattack. Back across the map, there's a battery, there's a couple of Adepts. We have Immortal production underway. There's going to be 1 Immortal to defend. GgMaChine doesn't counterattack. Drones. Drones up. Lair is only just now beginning as well, so there is no counterattack potential. There's no Roach speed. The game will continue. The game will continue from here. This is where the Adepts actually did do some damage. This does mean that the drone count from GgMaChine is much lower. Lower drone count, and despite making all these units, is not able to make use of them completely in the aftermath. It doesn't make use of this. So Archie does move out, pushing through the center. Now we assumed that Art was going to be taking a more defensive stance to try to recover in this game, but no, he's being the aggressor instead, kind of forcing himself into a committed push. So much more dedicated play here by Art. He's got to be careful, pushing deep on creep. We get some decent force fields, but reinforcements are on the way. Ooh, Bilesay take down the Prism. Prism goes down, but do we have enough roaches? Do we have enough? The immortals are exposed, and they're going to start going down. Yeah, they're going to start going down. They're being focused here. The first immortal will fall, the second one thereafter. Especially if the Shade commits, and it does. Yeah, it commits to Shade. Let's try to Shade into the mineral line. So far, GgMaChine does react. Oof. Still losing 6 drones at the natural. Some brutal damage. Shades into the main base. More drones going to be going down. This is getting out of hand. Oh my god. 12. Yeah, 12, 14, 15 drone kills. Art, he may have lost all of the immortals, but he does cripple the economy. And we just have to survive. We have to defend. Batteries. Throw down some batteries. Secure the third. Colossal production has begun. Now, I would have thought that GgMaChine would be forced into an all-in and forced to commit across the map, but no, he drones. GgMaChine, he's trying to at least drone up somewhat. He does drone up to 60. That is still under 3 base saturation. Yeah, no drones here at the 4th. No drones. Intentionally so. Art is playing with fire. Art does not need to be out here. He's already dealt crippling damage. Like, there's no need. Losing 1, 2, 3 adepts. Nice Prism harass. Gets into the third. Catching out 3 drones. Adepts say Shade away. 4 drones going down. Prism is still out here, forcing Sawa to be stuck back at home. But I will say that the 4th base is late for Art. We have the money. He's got 700 minerals in the bank. And here comes GgMaChine. Again, GgMaChine, he's been crippled. There is no economy. GgMaChine is 100% all in at this point. He had drone up earlier just to sustain this, and even then still lost more workers. And again, the lack of batteries here is surprising. If you recall earlier, I was expecting to see batteries thrown down after the fight went Art's way. So very late batteries here for Art. Ravager moves in, coming in from behind as well. We get some decent force fields. Army Kite's back, we coming from behind. He gets under the Colossus, the Biles. Oh my god, Biles, they've rained on the army. Massive connections. Yeah, the Biles connect with the Gateway Army crumbles, and Art, he's being broken. The batteries weren't done in time. They finish up after the fight ends. The fight is over. The batteries only just now finish. It's too late. Again, Art, he did an amazing job harassing and doing damage across the map, but he was not prepared back at home. Not at all. He was not ready for the game state that he was forcing. Despite having time. He had time to react. He had time to respond. But with that, the third has crumbled. 18 probe kills. We just got 2 Colossus and a Dream Bat. We got, oh my god, the Biles land. That was crazy. Yeah, the Biles land. GG gets called, and with that, we're tied up 1-1. GG. GG, well played. Again, Art, he did an amazing amount of damage done across the map with the Adepts. Adepts that were crippling the economy time and time again. GgMaChine, he was forced into an all-in, an all-in he did not really want to go into. But Art, despite forcing this kind of game state, he was not ready back at home. His batteries were so late. And likewise, we were lacking, say, a second Robo, double Immortal production. We were going into Colossus instead, but the lack of defensive setup there is what hurt most. And with that, GG. GG, well played. With that, GgMaChine, he does type the series, and now we're jumping into game number 3. Going to be loading into Tourmaline. Let's go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, here of Tourmaline, we have the red Zerg player. Oh. We have the red Zerg player himself representing Stony Bulls. It is GgMaChine. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player representing Quasar. It is Art. Let's go. Here we go. We're getting into our next game. We're getting into game 3 here. Welcome on all to Tourmaline. Tourmaline is a small map of the map pool, short rush distance by ground, and GgMaChine is forced to expand at the unnatural location. Ah, there's the juice, pappy. So already this is looking very similar to the game that we saw previously between Fiant and Art, where specifically on this map, Art forced the unnatural natural. We were loading into Tourmaline, short rush distance by ground, and Art, he could not resist the temptation to go into Glaive Adepts. He just doubled down on Glaive Adepts. He was able to overwhelm Fiant and bring him down, and we have seen nothing but Glaives so far this series. Glaives in game 1 and game 2, and I would argue that this series could be 2-0 in favor of Art, right? Last game, Art, he was crippling GgMaChine. He just was underestimating the threat of GgMaChine, right? The threat of an all-in, the threat of a counterattack. He was banking resources, and he wasn't really macroing well behind it. Art was maybe just tunnel vision a little bit too much, or maybe just a little bit surprised of the game state that was provided to him. So very shaky. This time we need some more decisive play. Need to be more decisive. Likewise, GgMaChine, we're hoping for some blind defensive play. Because of the current position that we're in, and because of the rush distance by ground, the moment that GgMaChine scouts something weird going on, we got to react hard to it. But we'll see. Go. So now we just have our standard openers. We're calming down. Likewise, link speed is on the way. We pull out a gas as well. We did see a bit of a quirkier build last game with GgMaChine going for a late gas geyser, trying to go into a roach rush and then canceling, and then everything kind of being diverted. Yep, and there it is, Glaive Adepts, or Twilight Council, and we're assuming this will be for Glaives. Once again, as we mentioned before, like, Art is going Glaives every game so far in this series, and this did work wonders against Fiant on this very map. Now, GgMaChine, it's on him to scout. Ooh, and he does see the Robo. Big scout already. Before even going into the main, he does scout the Robo. We have early link production here out of GgMaChine. And what I'm waiting for here is the Roach Warren timing. We need an early Roach Warren. Otherwise, things will go south real fast and real quick. So here we go. We have a 4-gate setup with the initial Robo as well for the War Prism to reinforce across the map. Overlord does confirm. And there it is. That is a 3:35 Roach Warren timing. So early Roach Warren here by GgMaChine. But because of the nature of the SimCity, because of where he was forced to expand, there's no wall off. Usually to defend against Glaive Adepts, you would have your Roach Warren, Eva Chamber, and a Spore Crawler here to wall off your natural base. But there's no creep, so there is no wall. So there's an opening. There's just a massive opening to go straight into the main or straight into the third base. So again, we're lacking SimCity. This will make it a much more difficult defense out of GgMaChine, but at least he does have the early Roach Warren. So GgMaChine is doing what he can. Adepts are amassing. Now shading across the map. Did pull out of gas. And we're waiting for those reinforcements. Yeah, we are going to be waiting. Adepts, they move in. They will cancel the shade. Roaches are revealed. Yeah, roaches are revealed. The first queen is going to get pounced upon. Does snipe a queen. How many roaches so far? 4. Yeah, 4 roaches in total. Down to 3. More adepts are warping in. The drone's getting caught out. Oh, so much damage being dealt here. 9 drone kills. 9 drones go down, but can we catch all the adepts? Can we catch him out? Oh, I don't think so. Yeah, adepts are going to get away. They shade into the natural. Nothing to kill. They can now make their way into the main. They can make their way in. Yeah, Lings, they will try to delay them. But this is getting out of hand. So much damage here. 13, 14, 15 drone kills. Another massive warp in. Shade is cancelled. These depths have to back off. They have to retreat. They do pull away. Catching another roach. Another roach goes down. Where's that shade? Oh, the prism within range of the queens. Oh, the prism. Oh my god, barely gets away. The prism pulls out and more queens are going down. And this is game ending. This is game ending damage here. 26 drones left. Critical damage behind this art. He's chilling. Immortals are amassing for Art. Getting extra gateways up and running as well. Art has done more than enough. He's done more than enough here. Now shading into the natural. Boys being pulled. More drones going down. Oof. Another drone kill. And that was how many? That was 19. 19 drones in total. Plus 61 Lings, 3 queens, 2 roaches, and a gas geyser, an extractor. Adepts are still warping in. And again, back at home, this time we have Immortals to defend. We're still lacking a battery. Like, I would love to see 1 or 2 batteries here at the natural base. Just to secure that defense. At least a battery, right? Like, I would... He's moving back in. GgMaChine, he does keep his roaches at home to defend. No, but the adepts, yeah, they just wreak havoc. 2 adepts into the third base, 2 adepts into the main as well. More drones are falling. GgMaChine races back home to defend. Tries to at least. The natural's at least safe. Somewhat. Nowhere safe, Backy. Nowhere. Nice juggling. Avoids the surrounds. Again, trading as best he can. No anti-air. Spore was sniped earlier. Now building up to 4 immortals. That is an insane immortal count. That's a lot of immortals. Behind this, if I wanted to, he could just expand. He could just get a 3rd base. But I mean, right now he has double the economy anyway, so it's fine. Just going for the kill, going for the throats. We just said that, Pappy. And what do we have to defend? 10 roaches. We got 10 roaches, we got 2 queens and a spore. A couple of Ravagers are morphing in, but against 4 Immortals, there's no shot GgMaChine survives this. Like, there's no shot. Biles, they do connect. They connect with the Immortal. Okay, first Immortal gets focused down. Not bad. We need more reinforcements. Immortals are getting caught out. Where's the Prism? Where's the Warp Prism? Oh my god. As the second Immortal falls, like, this is maybe the best fight that GgMaChine could hope for, but it's not enough anyway. GG gets called, and RT will take a lead 2-1 in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, like the best fight that GgMaChine could hope for, but he was still down and out. He still sustained a critical damage, game-ending damage. He hung in there hoping for one final fight, and he gave it all he had. But that was brutal. Once again, we saw that at Glaive Adepts, they did pull GgMaChine apart, specifically because of the map and specifically because of the Force on Natural. GgMaChine, he was more vulnerable than normal to those Glaive Adepts, and he just could not keep up. He was torn apart despite the early Roach Warren as well. He could not keep up with the amount of Adepts that were warping in. And with that, Art does take a lead, and now we're getting into game number 4. Oh boy. Let's go. Let us go. We're going to be loading into game 4. Now, Artie has gone to depths every game in this series, even the one that he lost, which he should have won. Like this, I could have seen this be a 3-0 in favor of Art, just adepting every single game. Now we're getting to game 4. Do we glaive it up to once again, Bappy? Do we do it again? Oh god. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Title Citadel, we have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss himself, representing Quasar, leading the series 2-1. It is Art. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player representing Stouty Bulls. It is GgMaChine. Let's go. Let us go. Now, to be fair to Art, even though it's been glaive ups every game, it's been different variations, right? We've seen 3-3 gas in glaive ups without a robo. We've seen with robo, without robo, more committed, less committed, with a third base, without a third base. Like, there have been certain variations that we have seen so far in this series, but all roads lead to glaives. Do we go there again? Do we mix it up here in game 4? Do we mix it up? For now, hatch first out of GgMaChine. Welcome to Title Citadel. This is a bit of a larger map in the map pool, a bit of a longer rush distance by ground, but the bases are very spread out. The third, the fourth bases are very spread out on this map, so it can be much more difficult to keep up and to defend. So we'll see how our players will adjust their approach. Oh, as we open up with a hatch block. Okay. Hatch block opener here by GgMaChine. Do we force a reaction out of Art, though? That is the question. Here we go. As boys are being pulled, again, damage is being done. It will force a 2-get response. And we'll see how how Art reacts to this. Like how much damage he's able to achieve across the map in the counterattack. This time he does open up 2 Zealot. Oh, let's go. He's learning. The double Zealot response. Okay, so it's going to be 2 Zealots. It's going to be 2 Adepts as well. It's going to be a very strong reaction here by Art. And we'll see if GgMaChine can survive it. Again, hopefully he's not too greedy. Hopefully he does respect the counterattack. Send out a second drone. Wait, what? 2 drones? So a little bit inefficient here by GgMaChine. It does mean some extra lost mining time. There's a cancellation. And we are waiting for that counterattack. Here we go. As from here, we do have 6 lings in production. So again, you can see that we're forcing reaction here out of GgMaChine. Force react, force respond. Adepts are moving out, and we'll see if GgMaChine can keep up and minimize losses. That's what this comes out. This is what this comes down to. More adepts on the way behind this. Zealot as well. So far, trading with the Zerglings. Nothing crazy. Oh, Lings attempt to surround. And the Adepts, they do slip away. Oh, they do barely slip away. 1 Adept should fall. Not bad. Does catch 1. Adepts, they shade into the main base. Zealots, they will trade with the Queens. They go for the mineral line. But I feel like GgMaChine should be okay. Like, he shouldn't lose too much here. Losing 2 drones. Only 2 drone kills, so again, some minimal losses here. GgMaChine does hold, does survive, does defend. Behind this, making 10 more Zerglings, though. Oh. Okay. That is going to hurt. As in, that's going to hurt GgMaChine. Because of those 10 lings, that means that GgMaChine's drone count is still very lackluster. Like, the droning here is still lacking for the Zerg. This was a big investment to all these Zerglings, and I mean, they're going to keep the Oracle busy, I suppose, but that's kind of it. Oof. Okay, Lings are going to be chased away. They will at least delay the third base. True. Third base is going to be later. Things nice to run. They get in. Oh, that should not have happened. So misplacement there by Art. Gets surrounded. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 depths going down. Very nice pickups here by GgMaChine. At the same time, the Oracle gets into the main, but no stasis. Catching out only one drone. Catching one drone here. So once again, good reactions. This so far is a better start for GgMaChine. Catching out 4 depths, minimizing losses back at home, and still has Lings in the bases. Getting a full scout. Glaives? That's a Twilight Council before the 3rd base. There it is. Glaive depths every game. Every game, Bathy. You can't stop him. He will adapt you. Always. Once again, a different variation though. This is a Twilight Council after the Stargate. So Stargate into Twilight Council before the 3rd. Very committed, very dedicated, but this is supposed to be a surprise. This is supposed to be like catching a player off guard. Meanwhile, GgMaChine saw everything he needed to. He did scout, he is aware. Overlord is rescouting, and we need a Roach Warren. Again, the big issue here for GgMaChine is that even though he didn't lose many drones, he didn't make many workers. That's the issue. So the economy is still lacking for GgMaChine. Oh, Bane defense. That's risky. Okay. It's going to be Bane defense instead. It's still possible, but just much more difficult. So your Banelings have to keep up with the shades, ideally, and deny the shades. Of course, there is counter micro available against the Banelings if they get focused down, or if you split. If you manage to spread the adepts. Yes, from here again, we're massing up our Ling Bane. Alright, does threaten the shade. Does threaten that shade. Again, the Banes are keeping up with the shade. So shades are being cancelled. So far, decent spread. Banes are roll in. Oh, and they do find a clump of adepts. Not bad. Yeah, adepts they go down, and GgMaChine holds. Ooh. Does hold, does defend despite that 4 adepts. No, 4 adepts to make it through. They make it through in the mineral lines. Drone's going to be going down. But again, not too many. Not too many here. It's going to be, actually, 5 drones. 5 drones do go down. Could have been so much worse. I say that. Adepts they shed into the 3rd. 9 drone kills. Ay. 9 drones fall, and with that, Art takes an economic lead. More adepts have warped in, by the way. We're still not done. No boy. As more adepts are coming. Behind this, we have the Blink Stalker transition. Lings they attempt to counterattack. They cannot engage, not into adepts. Not like this. And we need more Banelings. Okay, we have 7 Banelings morphing in. These Banelings are late. They get spotted. Adepts they will try to hit the 3rd. Shade is cancelled. Adepts are clumped up. Banelings, can we pop up? No, he's going for it. Yeah. Oh, tempted. Tempted to go for the dive there. Let's 4 more workers. Here we go. Now we can commit. We surround the adepts. Massive connections. Ooh, decent connections here. Adepts, they will recall back home. They do recall back, and behind this we have our transitioning. Storm is on the way. High Templar warping in. We have a second robo, so we have a first robo also in production. Art is taking up. And again, the economy is still lacking for GgMaChine. Up until this point, we just now droned up to 81. So we just now droned up. Does need a moment here for it to allow it to kick in. As they catch out the adepts. Oh, they try to. Again, are trading as efficiently as they can. Trading efficiently. At this point, Art is just waiting for Storm. And I believe he should just be committing here with Storm as well. Otherwise, there'd be a 4th base. And we have not seen Art embrace a longer game in this series. Hasn't happened. It's been hyper aggression of Art time and time again, with mainly Adepts, even in this game as well. And in the end, Art, he killed 17 drones, 106 Zerglings. You can see here that even though this was with 36 Adepts, like the Adept to Ling ratio is crazy. My god. And here comes the main push. And again, it took a long time for GgMaChine to drone up. He's rushing into Hive. Oh, do we not have Hydras? Yeah, no Hydras, no Roaches either. Purely Ling Bane into Hive Tech. Greedy play by GgMaChine. And Storm is going to excel here. This round, the High Templar. Oh no. Yeah, Ling's laps in. They do catch the Templar. Massive pickups. Ooh, catching at 1, 2, 3. Templar go down. Massive storms though. And despite the Templar falling, the Lings, they just melt. The Zerglings, they just melt here before the storms. Every Zergling goes down. Zelstay busts into the mineral land on the right hand side. Stalkers, they push forward. And we ignore the base. Yeah, he... Oh, okay, no. Turns back around. Does set up for the expansion. Archon morphs in. There is no war prison with the main army, but hatcheries are falling. And hatcheries are going down. Now, if GgMaChine didn't surround those High Templar when he did, this would have been game. There would have been, what, 3 High Templar remaining, and then we just keep pushing into the bases. Because there are no more storms, it meant that Art has to back off. That could have been game then and there. As Ultras have arrived. I believe there's going to be 5 Ultralisks. Oof. Zerglings getting caught. Art's now claiming a 4th base, forced into a 4th expansion. And now the game is going to slow down. I mentioned earlier that Art, he's been hyper aggressive. He's been avoiding like a macro game, but now he's forced into one. Forced to expand, forced to try to tech up. I don't believe Art has seen the Ultras yet. So there's no Immortals. That's a little bit scary. It's going to be 5, it's going to be 7 Ultras. But the upgrade is going to be lacking here. They're going to be +1 Ultras with Kindness Plating, to be fair. Like, that will help. But Stalkers, they can focus them down. Oh. Yeah, Storm's A zone. There we go. As you can see, I'll take down one of the Ultras already. Again, upgrades are lacking. Oof. Yeah, has to be forced back. All the High Templar go down. Massive pickups. 0 Templar left. But now he can focus time. And now he can focus fire. Yeah, there's no Zerglings. There's no buffer. He gets 1, 2, 3. He's going to get to 4 Ultras. Ay, ay, ay. Again, the Ultras are being bursted down. As they will fall. Yeah, every Ultra is going to fall to the Mass Stalker. 0 Ultras left. Ay, ay, ay. Expensive losses here for GgMaChine. The Fungal lands, but there's no follow-up. There's no follow-up. The Fungal means nothing. It's too little too late. Art punishes. And with that, he'll chase down the Queens. They cannot get away. Zeltay peel up into the mineral lines. Drone's going to be going down. And Art is playing it safe. He's playing it safe, just going for the fringe expansions. Once again, does pull away. Gets another base, another hatchery. Oh. Again, as respect, this takes down another one of the Ultras. Oh my god, despite the transfuse. Ah, he gets 2. Does he get all 3? Oh, not quite. Yeah, Lings that will punish. Unironically, Zerglings do trade better than the Ultras in this kind of position. As another Ultralisk goes down to 2 Ultras. Again, expensive losses for GgMaChine as he is stuck on a 3-base economy. I say 3-base economy, he's oversaturated. Heavily oversaturated, so really on a 2-base economy more than anything. GgMaChine, he cannot afford these losses, cannot afford these trades. Archons are morphing in, Lings are going down. Oh god. The storms, Fappy. Every time. Now, Art, his Stalker count is now suddenly very low. He did lose a lot of Stalkers across the map. So with the lower Stalker count, Ultras can actually excel. They can be okay. Fungal lands, we just stand and fight. Oh, we focus on the Ultras. And Ultras are focused down. And Art still maintains that stronger eco. 72 probes, 72 workers, 4 bases. +2 carapace did finish here for the Ultra, so they're a little bit tankier than previously. A little bit. He tried to start up 3-3. But again, Ultras, they need support on their own. They don't do much. They need support. Again, GgMaChine is going to be forced back. Plus 3-3 has begun. Let's go. Getting to 3-3 upgrades. GgMaChine just needs time. He needs time to be able to recover and resaturate and take these bases and get back into proper mining. And he's being given that time. So GgMaChine is on the road to recovery. At the same time, we do see Art. He likewise, instead of building up a mass stalker army, has more immortals. He's a little more immortal reliant instead. But I'll still say lacking stalkers. Oh, nice cancel. Nice cancellation. RT rotates onto creep. So it gets into the mineral line. Things they counterattack. Back at home, there's a cannon, there's a defensive warp in. Low ground base is forfeit. Meanwhile, it's just the one zealot. Probes are going down. Critical damage. Yeah, down goes the entire mineral line, and now Art is all in. Art is all in. Every probe here falls. 31 probe kills. That is insane damage, by the way. But can this death ball be dealt with? Like, this is very good damage, don't get me wrong. But doesn't matter. How many ultras? 9. That's a lot. 9 ultras. Lings are going for another counterattack. They're going for the backstab. Once again, hitting the third base. Hitting the fourth, I should say. The ultras are exposed. Oh, yeah, the ultras are on their own. We mentioned this earlier, but ultras on their own are fragile. They're very fragile. They need buffer. They need support. One ultra goes down. Oof. Fourth base falls for Art. Gets 2. Gets 3, 4, 5. Every ultra falls. Every ultra falls here. As we mentioned, 9 ultras mean nothing if there's no Zerglings here. Ay, ay, ay. Heavy losses for GgMaChine. Down to 1 Ultralisk. Down to 1, Pappy. Down to 0. And with that, Art, he's done it. Art, he's killed all 9 ultras. Now he can break through, take some of the infestors as well. GG gets called, and Artie snowballs out of control. He will claim the series 3-1. GG. GG, well played. A very unique approach here by GgMaChine is what I will say, going mass ultra here towards the end. Not even just going mass ultra. Remember, he rushed ultra. It was Lingbane ultra. He skipped roaches, he skipped hydras as well. It is so risky and so greedy, so difficult to pull this off. Typically, when it comes to mass ultra, this is a style that can work if you have momentum and if you have map control. If you're able to have a higher base count, like up by like 2 hatcheries and up by like 20 workers, and if you have map control, and if you're containing your opponent, if you're trading from the beginning with Lings as well, keeping your opponent with a lower army count as well, then you can pull this off. A good example of that is Dark. If you watch Dark before retirement, he would play this quite often against Protoss and do it quite well, but he would have to stay on a very high Ling count, a bit of a lower economy initially before building up and ensuring that he can delay and deny the third base and the fourth base and keep the Protoss player at bay while getting into ultras, and then snowball out of control with a maxed out army. Meanwhile, your opponent is struggling to maintain those fringe bases. Like, ideally, that's how you want to be approaching this. Unfortunately, I would say that for the most part, GgMaChine was lacking map control. He was lacking map control. He was being bullied by the main death ball of an army. Didn't really have the presence that he needed to get away with an ultra rush. GG. GG, well played. With that, RT does claim the series, and with that, RT will advance on to the grand finals. I was ready for a ZVP rematch, GgMaChine and Shameless. I was ready for the rematch in the grand finals, but no, there will not be a rematch. GgMaChine, he is out in 3rd place, and now we have our top 2 players, our top 2 finalists for the OSC Elite Rising Star tournament. It's going to be a best of 5 between Art and Shameless in a PvP. Let's go. Let's go. So for now, we're going to be going on a short break. We need a moment to set up, and when we come back, we'll have the grand finals. We'll have Shameless versus Art. We'll see you soon. See you soon. Hup. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the grand finals. That's grand finales here of the OSC Elite Rising Star number 19, day 7. Again, the final day of OSC Elite of the Rising Star tournament and the grand finals as well. It's been an intense tournament here. 7 weeks of non-stop StarCraft. Actually, I want to say it was 8 weeks actually, because I think there was a week off as well. So 8 weeks of non-stop StarCraft, 2 months worth of content, and we are here to crown our champion. I was expecting a rematch between Shameless and GgMaChine. They both faced off in the upper bracket, but they were denied the rematch as Arts popped off. The Glaive Adepts, papia. every game without fail, we saw Glaive Adepts. They didn't necessarily win him the game all the time, especially in that final game. Of course, we did. I should say that GgMaChine, he survived the Glaive Adept aggression and was very greedy in the aftermath, rushing into ultra tech of all things, and that didn't quite work out in his favor. In the end, we have, instead of GgMaChine, Art advancing on. He does advance on, and now we have our best of 5 finals. It's going to be best of 5 PvP between Shameless and Art to crown this season's champion, bearing in mind as well that Shameless has a 1-0 advantage. Remember, Shameless comes in from the upper brackets. He does come in from the upper bracket, does have that 1-0 advantage already over Art, and we'll see if Art can make up for that and surpass that. Let's go. Let's jump on in. As game 1 is going to be on White Rabbit. Vámonos. Here we go. And spawning in the left-hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the red Protoss player. We have the red Protoss player himself representing Quasar. It is Art. And spawning in the right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss player himself representing Stony Balls. It is Shameless. Let's go. Let us go. We're jumping into our series, jumping into our best of 5. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we delve into our best of 5. Un momento, papi. Oh. Here we go. Sorry, just whipping out the Google Translate. A Chang. Yeah, there we go. Here we go. We are going to be settling in. Nothing interesting. I didn't fully understand it. I want to say we were talking about Art's tournament run. I want to say, but I'm not too certain. Not too certain. Otherwise, we're going to be settling in. Oh, hello. Welcome to our PvP. So far, 2-gate opener. 2-gate opener out of Shameless. 2-gate opener out of Art, as Shameless does hide his pylon in the top left-hand corner of the map. Now, based on the pylon location, based on the proxy location, it looks more like either a Stargate or a Twilight Council. It is too far away for a robo or a gateway. So very, very far away. Otherwise, it could be a fake out as well. True, it could be a fake out. But the probe is patrolling as Cybercore is done. And show us the Stargate. Bam, there it is. Stargate has been thrown down. So proxy Stargate as Shameless. This is not for an all-in, but this is for aggression. It is for aggression here. It is to get across the map, to get into the Oracle, sorry, to build up into his Oracle, to get across the map and to do some economic damage, to take an economic lead early on, getting into a longer game state. Meanwhile, Art does scout. Art, he does see that a pylon is missing. Art knows, he does recognize something is wrong, and Art, he reads this as an all-in. Ooh, so a bit of a misread here by Art. Art is going for a robo response. This is supposed to hard counter a proxy robo, but there is no proxy robo. It's a Stargate instead. So a big gamble here from Art, and Shameless comes out ahead in the initial kind of like rock paper scissors. Like I'm back. Art is looking. Oh no! Art is so close. He's so close. He does scout top left, but he does not check the edge of the map. Yeah, does not check the edge, and he will not scout this. He will not confirm. Behind this, back at home again, he's got his robo on the way. He's throwing down extra pylons as well, securing his own main. Now, what I will say, especially with this third gateway, he can turn this into a one-base all-in. So initially it's a robo response. Oh, cancels the third gateway. He sees the expand. And we have a delayed base. A delayed expansion here. So again, Art, he's playing from behind, forced into the Observer. Instead, Adepts shade into the main base. They can start to one-shot workers. And here comes the Oracle as well. Ooh, does cancel. Does cancel the shade. Shameless confirms that, of course, Art is not all-in himself. Oracle's coming. Ideally, they want to distract, but thankfully, Art is in position. He's ready. Art is ready in the main. He's ready in the main base. Some more Adepts have arrived. Again, keeping Art contained. Back here across the map, we do have a proxy pylon. We got slow warpins across the map. Art is trying to alleviate some pressure. Back at home, there is nothing to defend. I say that, we have a defensive warpin. Adepts are forced back. The Oracle has yet to be activated, and it's only one Oracle. No second Oracle. Okay. Just the one. Art moves in. But there's a wall. Ah, it's way too soon. Oh, no, it's too late. Yeah, a couple of seconds too late. Late reaction there by Shameless. Gets punished, and probes are going to be going down. Getting 1, 2, 3, 4 probe kills. That's a lot of damage. 5. Do we get 6? 6, Bappy. Oh my god, 6 probe kills for 2 Adepts. Very nice damage here by Art. At the same time, Shameless does threaten to dive as well. I believe getting a sentry. No, not quite. But does pick up a couple of Stalkers. That was 2 Stalkers going down and 2 Adepts. Commits into the shade. Going for the mineral line, and he does get some kind of damage at least. He gets 1, 2, 3 probes. Just 3. Yeah, 3 workers go down. Now, Shameless did have the faster natural, if you remember, so even though Art kills more workers, Shameless is still ahead in the probe count. Still ahead. That's due to the faster nexus. Art warping in. He's still not done. As Art, he's securing his bases. Meanwhile, Shameless, he will find the proxy. Ooh, does find the pylon. Does catch out one of the Adepts. Both even. Oof. Yeah, both Adepts will go down. 0 damage dealt for them either. And the pylon. Better trades here for Shameless. And behind this, we're taking up Defensive Robo, Twilight Council in towards Blink. Likewise, Art doing something very similar. No Twilight Council himself yet. Oh, it is delayed. So a later Twilight Council, later tech. It does feel like Art is like 1 step, if not half a step behind. In terms of workers, in terms of tech. Oh, and we're going to Glaze with the Gateway Explosion. 2-base all-in. I say 2-base all-in. You can claim a third behind this, but this is very dedicated play here by Shameless. Very committed. Going Mass Adepts into Immortal. Meanwhile, what did Art see? Art, he saw the Gateway setup for the most part. He hasn't seen the additional Gateways. But that should prompt Art to be a little bit more defensive. Oh, the Aces. Not bad. I mean, there's no follow-up, but I mean, nice stasis nonetheless. Catching out a couple of Stalkers. Gateways are coming online. Getting up to 7 gates on 2 bases. Meanwhile, RT's on 4. Yeah, just a 4-gate setup. Now throwing down his gateways after the fact. I don't know if it's wise for Shameless to try to break the natural in this position. I would imagine he wants to wait for Art to try to expand, but Art shouldn't be expanding because he knows that there's a committed play here. In my mind, at least. Oh, going into the bay? Changing his mind. There we go. Going for the bay, going into 2-base disruptor. I mean, that's a way to make up for his otherwise army supply. Does have a much smaller army. Disruptors, I mean, that can do it. The issue here is that Shameless is going to hit first. He's going to hit pre-disruptor. And the first to expand as well. Probe is in position. The idea of Shameless only containing his opponent, I can get behind. I don't know if he needs to force his way through. He keeps to the war pins. Okay, never mind. It's a fake out. Yeah, it is going to be a fake out instead. And that's warping in. Alright, trying to expand. Force they generate some of the immortals. We commit to the shade. Yeah, he does commit. Tries to juggle over the wall. Gets one of the immortals. Massive pickup. There's one immortal left. Yeah, there's only one immortal remaining. Just the one. Has to pull away. Warpins, they continue. He blinks in. Very nice denial. Yeah, nice blink. And Art holds. Whew. Art, he's holding on. If it wasn't for that denial of the warpin, I mean, that could have been the game then and there. He's got one immortal against 3. There's a lot of DPS here. A lot of firepower. Yeah, speaking of Art, he's got to respect this. He has to respect this army. Oh god, no! The immortal gets caught! Oh no! Massive pickup. Takes down the immortal. Behind this, war prison's being rebuilt. Shameless, he's not stopping. Punishing Art, catching out the army. Again, Art, he was just overly aggressive. Overly aggressive, Pappy. Art is overwhelming. But there's a Colossus. Oh, right, it was Colossus, not Disruptor? Okay. I mean, that's a way to handle Mass Adept, I suppose. There's a way to handle this, but the Immortals just go to town on the Stalkers. Yeah, they go to town, breaking on through, getting on top of the Colossus. And the Stalkers, they just melt. They just melt here before the Immortals. Adepts, they move away. They avoid the Colossus shots. Nice movement there by Shameless. Immortals, they break through. Gets one of the Colossi. He gets one, and he wants the other. Yeah, he wants the other as well. Last Shameless running out of steam. Adepts, they do come in from behind. He gets the Colossus. He gets it. Oh my god. Colossus goes down. In the end, we have purely Stalkers versus Adepts. Boys are being pulled into the Adepts of all things. And this is critical damage. Critical damage here. Art cannot sustain this. 13 probes going down. More Adepts warp in. And Adepts are not ideal against Stalkers, but there are just enough of them. We're just overwhelming. Just an overwhelming amount of Adepts. Breaks through the Stalkers, breaks into the mineral line. GG gets called, and Shameless takes a 2-0 lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, a very chaotic game 1 here between Shameless and Arts, with Arts overreacting early on to the proxy, to the proxy Stargate, assuming it was a proxy Robo, was stuck on one base a little bit longer, had to later expand as a result of that, and did have a bit of a harder time in the aftermath. He was able to get some nice counter damage with the Adepts. He got 6 probes, if you remember. It was a very, very nice start, but that was only enough to try to recover from the earlier deficit that he had. Likewise, in the aftermath of that, we also saw that he was trying to keep up on 2 bases. His response to Mass Adept Immortal was to go Colossus, which is unique for sure. I wasn't really too sold on it, and we did see him overextending at times. I'm referring to the moments when he pushed a little bit too far out, and he got his Immortal caught. He got 2 Immortals caught out, twice actually, to the Adept Immortal of his opponents, and everything kind of went awry from there. GG. GG, well played. With that, Shameless takes a 2-0 lead, and now we're jumping to game number 3. Let's go. Going to be loading into Tourmaline. A much smaller map this time. Smaller map, shorter rush distance by ground. You can all in from even back at home without a proxy. You don't need proxies here to go for these big all-ins to be hyper aggressive. Show us what you got. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the red Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Quasar down in the series. Can he bounce back and make a series out of this? It is Art. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player. The blue Protoss himself representing Stony Balls. It is Shameless. Here we go. Let's go, baby, let's go. Let's simply build Void Rays as the moles in the episode shoot up. Void Rays, so you're asking him to tech out of Robo and tech into a Stargate into Void Ray production. That isn't really viable just because it takes so long to tech in that direction to build anything substantial. By the time you build up like 1, 2, 3 Void Rays, you're saying that there won't be any Colossus or Immortals, which means it's going to be a weaker ground army, and that means that Shameless would more quickly break through the defensive line and break into the bases. If it was a Stargate opener, different story. Then you can go, instead of going Void Ray, you can go Phoenix if it was a Stargate opener. But because Art did open Robo, like, it was a worse position to be in, if that makes sense. Because like you gotta make use of the tech that you have available to you, especially when you're on 2 bases, right? So because of his Robo opener initially, like, he was kind of like stuck in that kind of tech. I'm still not sold on going Colossus for sure. Like, I'm not in love with that. I can see the logic behind it just because Colossus can technically do okay against Adepts. But the Immortals were the issue there. Let's go. Let us go. As we are getting into game number 3. So the Shameless build early enough. I would disagree with that. He saw production, he saw the tech. If you remember, he didn't see the 6th and 7th gateway, so he wasn't aware of the gateway counts. But also, like, I mean, he also doesn't know if it's going to be Mass Immortal or not. I don't believe he saw the Immortal counts. If he didn't, then it could just be a 2-base mass blink all-in, which is a thing, which would be better against Void Rays. I'd have to double check to see if he saw the Immortals, because if he saw the Immortals and the gateway explosion, then it does scream Glaives. For sure. For now, though, actual 1-base all-in. Proxy Robo this time. If you remember last game, Art, he misread the build as a Proxy Robo. This time it actually is Proxy Robo. So Art, he's searching. If you recall, he did scout the main base. He's aware that a pilot is missing. Art is checking top left, and Art is checking bottom right. He's checking both locations. Meanwhile, the proxy's in the middle. He's looking. He's searching, Pappy. And behind this does go for defensive Robo play. So this time, good call, right? He plays it safe, doesn't know what's coming his way, but he can feel it out. It does go for the Robo. I do like this a lot more here for Art, at least initially, but it comes down to the execution. Prism is out, Immortals on the way. I do appreciate the proxy pylon here to warp in Adepts across the map to be able to harass and potentially even get some damage done. And he finds it. Yeah, it does confirm. Now he has confirmation. Prism is moving in. We do have the initial Stalker drop. Art is ready. Oh. It does zone away. So far holding on. Again, he's building up his own Immortals. He's trying to build up. This is a very risky move. Art, he moves out. As he moves out, the pylon is going to be exposed. We can push up the ramp. Yeah, the army just walks up the ramp. Art, cool with his pants down. The Immortal gets caught. We can juggle though. Yeah, we can juggle, and so far Art, he's going to be able to hold on. But again, such a risky maneuver here from Art. We're going to calm down. Adepts say shade in. That pylon coming into play. Gets into the main. 1, 2, 3, 4 probe kills, getting up to 5. Nice damage. Even getting up to 6. 6 waves, they go down. And Shameless having a hard time pushing up the ramp. And thankfully, this time Marty has everything ready. He has everything ready. He does have 2 more force fields. Still just the 1 battery. He will soon have a 2nd immortal. Once again, he can just buy more time. There's that force field. There's 1 left. Yeah, there's still that 1 force field remaining. We gotta calm down, alright? We gotta calm down. Cuidado. And I believe there should be 1 more force field at this point. Yep. We have more enough time. So far, just non-stop force fields. Peeking away at the army. Free shots with the immortals. At the same time, warps in more stalkers across the map this time. Oh my god, okay. Does warp in stalkers. This is much more dedicated here by Art. He does push across the map. Getting on top of the production. Again, very nice backstab here by Red Protoss. Very nice backstab. Meanwhile, better concave here as well. So far, Art he defends. He actually depowers the gateways. Very nice. Depowers both gateways. Takes out another pylon. I believe this will supply block Shameless. What you see is what you get, and he turns back around. Yeah, it turns around, races back home. We do see Art try to force his way up the ramp, and it's going to be a bit of a messy trade. Yeah, it's a little bit messy here. But it does trade back and forth. Gateways are repowered. Again, Shameless is turning back around, and Shameless is looking for the pylon as well. Like, he should know that there's a pylon somewhere. Like, this pylon has been working wonders for Art. As we get another Adept Warp in. From here, Art can go for a Stargate on 1 base, then go for a Phoenix, and then expand, or expand first. Oh! This Prism takes a lot of hits. Takes a lot of damage. And both players expand, actually. Okay. Both players expand, they both take their natural bases, and does the game stabilize from here? Now, what I will say is that a 2-base all-in is definitely going to be available here for our players, especially considering that both players have built up an immortal count, so there's a very high chance we go Twilight Counter into Glaive Adepts. Very high chance. Another thing that we could actually see here is Twilight Council into Dark Shrine, which could actually work quite well. The reasoning for this is the Robo was just killed, right? There is no Robo left for Shameless, so he has no Observer production. Shameless has no Observer. What's it going to be? Dark Shrine or Glaives? Blink. Never mind. Option C. A much more standard follow-up. Question becomes, does Shameless also go Glaives or Blink? Sorry, does he also go Blink? Like Art? Okay, for now we're just keeping up with each other. Yeah, Glaives. I do like this more. I'm a little bit surprised. I mean, that's why I said like DTs or Glaives for Art. I'm a little bit surprised he went into Blink. Blink is for a macro game. Glaives is much more dedicated, much more committed. Just like last game, this is leading into a 2-base all-in. This is going to hit very, very hard. There's the Dark Shrine, but after the fact, going into DTs. Models they drop in. Gonna be zoned away. As we mentioned before, there's currently 0 detection for Shameless. There's no Robo or Stargate or Forge. But what hits first? What does hit first? Shameless back into the main. Again, just distracting, keeping the attention away. Glaive's almost done. The gateway explosion. Here we go. 2-base all-in out of Shameless. Oh, sorry. Shameless does have 1 observer. Oh, I did miss that. Shameless, he can't build another one. If this observer's killed, DTs can pop up. But we got to kill the observer. Art. Dark Shrine is done. And I think that's game. Like, because this Observer is still alive, the 2-base all-in is going to hit, and this cannot be stopped. I say that, what do we have to defend? We have an even immortal count. Dark Templar, they walk across the map. Nice juggling. DTs are coming, true. They're coming, Ellipsis shade into the main base. Nice force fields, locking down the army, catching in a couple of Stalkers. And a couple of Stalkers to go down. And where's that recall? DTs, they've arrived. DTs have arrived. And we can see the Shameless, he's gaining ground. Yeah, he's gaining ground, he's breaking through. Again, Observers with the main army, DTs, they fall. And even though a lot of damage is being dealt across the map, every probe is falling, the main army cannot be dealt with. As we mentioned before, like the 2-base all-in, it does hit too hard. He breaks through. Falls short to buy some time. He gets over the wall. He commits. Oh, he tries to. Nice setup here with 2 batteries on the high ground. And nice setup. Again, Shameless just has to babysit that Observer. Has to babysit. And he's breaking through. He's breaking through into the main base. Getting on top of the production. Denying glaives. Boys are being pulled. The desperation here out of Arts. He's trying to hold on. Can he hold, Bappy? Oh my god. And force fields, they zone away all the probes. Immortals are being targeted down. And the batteries are out. Yeah, the batteries are out of energy. They're out of energy. Good juggling. Good juggling here out of Arts. But he's down to 4 Immortals. Oh no, they're going down. Yeah, they're going down one after the other. It's still so close. Oh my god, down to 2. Down to 2, down to 1. Ah, down to 0. 0 Immortals left. Sure, DTs are doing damage, but again, the Observer. It all comes down to the Observer. GG gets called, and Shameless, he will claim this series 3-0, becoming this season's OSC Elite Rising Star champion. GG. GG, well played with that. Congratulations here to Shameless, as does claim the series. It does claim a 3-0. Very intense back and forth. Oh, there we go. Very intense back and forth. Do apologize, I didn't realize that we weren't listed on TL. Thanks for letting us know at the end of the stream. We appreciate it. Just didn't realize that it wasn't listed. Now is, as we wrap up. GG, well played. Congratulations here. Shameless, he will claim the series. Shout out to Arch for, again, having a back and forth, and again, having a very intense final game. I didn't realize that Shameless actually did have 1 Observer, despite having 0 access for additional detection. There's a world where if that Observer was sniped earlier on, then we could have used DTs defensively. And defensive DTs would have cleaned up that army, and then we get another game, right? Then we get a game 4 as well. But the Observer was able to survive the entirety of that all-in, was not able to be focused down, wasn't caught out earlier on either. I want to say there were opportunities for Art to catch the Observer, but I don't think he recognized just how much importance there was on that Observer, just how there wasn't a backup robot back at home, there wasn't a potential for additional detection, and that would have been the one way for Art to survive, to defend, to win that game, and to extend the series. But GG. GG, well played. Whew. And with that, congratulations here to Shameless, an intense, again, final game out of Arts, and with that, we have crowned our champion, back-to-back champion as well. Shameless, he won the OSC Elite Rising Star number 18, and now 19 as well. 2 events in a row. When it comes to number 20, I believe signups are still open, and I believe it should be commencing in the next couple of weeks. In a couple of weeks' time, we should be seeing another Rising Star event. But otherwise, GG and congratulations to our top players here. And again, even though Arts may have gone down here in the finals, he did take down GgMaChine to make it to the finals, which was impressive. It was very, very impressive to see him bring him down and to be a finalist instead. So congratulations. Congratulations, Pat. Otherwise, with that, GG well played. With that, we are going to be wrapping up here for the time being. Again, today we do have Again, today we do have a second broadcast in the evening. Bam, there we go. It is going to be MSO. Master Swan Open is going to be later on in the evening, and we have GSLCK over the weekend. Oh boy, it's going to be a lot of content, a lot of StarCrafts. We're going to be the official stream for GSLCK, so we're going to be all over that on our channel, and again over on the Soup channel thereafter when it comes to VOD content. So plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft is on the horizon here over the weekend. Bearing in mind as well that Masters of the Game is also around the corner, Home Story Cup also around the corner as well. There have been a couple of people that have been asking us about Masters of the Game and Home Story Cup as well. We did cover those events in the past, but this season, this year, we are not. We don't really have as much free time available to cover those events as we did previously, just because they are at a European time slot, and it is brutal here in Australia. It is brutal. But with that, GG will play it again. Congratulations here to Shameless. Again, we're going to be live later on tonight with MSO. Next week, we should also be catching up with what exactly? Let's see. With our regular weekly tournaments. So, Water TV Monday, Sparkling Tuna Cups, Pegasus Cups, Doyu Cup is next week. True. We're going to be all over Doyu Cup as well. That'll be starting on Thursday. We'll be covering that event over here in English, and more content, more StarCraft. I will say as well when it comes to news. The PTR just got an update midstream, midcast. We did get a big update on the PTR, and of course it happens the day after the podcast. Shaking my head. So most likely we'll be discussing it next week. We'll be discussing it. When it comes to the TLDR, it does obviously look like they have been listening to feedback, which is a good thing, and it looks like they are willing to make changes and still have the PTR going to ideally get more changes in the future as well, to iterate and refine. That's something that I was hopeful for, and a lot of people were very doomer about. They were like, they're just not going to make an update, so they're just going to push the changes through without like considering any ramifications. Again, that was like some sort of like, it's like copium from people that like just didn't like the direction of the patch. So I think it's a good thing, of course, that we do have an update to the PTR. When it comes to the changes being proposed, it is interesting. We'll be discussing a little bit further during the next podcast, of course. What I will say though is that I think that people, myself included, did want a bit of a stronger stance on certain things and wanted more out of the PTR. This is mainly, basically the PTR update is mainly making adjustments to changes that were already proposed instead of bringing forward even further changes, which I think a lot of people were hoping for, myself included. I do think that this PTR, this patch is very tame. I think it's very, very tame, unfortunately, and I think that can be more done with it. To shake up like the metas, to shake up the meta specifically, I feel. I would say. So, tame patch, pappy, tame patch. But we'll be discussing it next week. Otherwise, we're going to be wrapping up. Something that I did say that I was going to get into today, just because we have the time to do so, and the only cast before GSLCK. I don't know if you noticed, but we have been casting a little bit less as of late. This week we even had a day where we're not casting, so I do apologize for that. Just a lot's been going on IRL. I usually don't really talk about things happening like IRL too much. We typically keep things StarCraft focused and StarCraft related here. There are a couple of exceptions, of course, to that in regards to our bunnies and what's been happening with our bunnies and some medical issues, of course, as well. But something that I have mentioned previously is that I do live with my grandmother. Her state has been kind of worsening over time. She was 98 years old, almost reaching 100, but due to health, age, complications, kidney failure specifically, she was having very regular infusions, blood infusions, as she was internally losing blood, and also because her kidneys were failing, her blood wasn't being oxygenated properly either. So initially it was like every 4 weeks we would have to go and get an infusion. Then it became every 3 weeks, then every 2 weeks. Like over time, like it became worse and worse. It began like last year, October, like ever since October last year. So I've been taking I was taking a bigger and better role when it comes to looking after her and making sure she was okay, and helping her when it comes to things around the house as well. And that culminated, of course, in eventually her making the decision to stop getting infusions. It was always an ordeal, like, it was like a whole day events, like going to the hospital and getting a blood infusion, and trying to recover from that. And at a certain point, she was like, you know what, I've lived my life, like I'm done, and we of course respected her decision. Again, at 98 years old, like she wasn't like suffering from dementia or anything, like she was very much so there, very much so. So she made the decision to do so, and over the past, and because of that, I think we expected things to end relatively quickly, but she hung in there for like 2 months, by the way. Like, it was crazy. But 2 whole months she was hanging in there, without any additional infusions, and eventually, and over time, of course, she was getting weaker and weaker, needing more and more help to even stand up, to even go to the bathroom, to drink, to eat food. Did deteriorate over that time, to the point where last week she did pass away. Last week. It actually happened during the Thermal 2v2 circuit. For those who are unaware, I do admin the event, the Thermal circuit, and it was last week, Sunday night, Monday morning, around 3:30 a.m. It was during the as we were admitting during the events. My grandmother did pass away. I didn't find out until after the event concluded. So like after the Thermal event concluded, that's when that happened, and we made a bunch of calls, and family came over, and I had to organize everything, of course, get in touch with, you know, organizing like the funeral service and contacting family, and I ended up writing a eulogy. I wrote a eulogy for the events, which is also why I took some time off as well this week to focus on writing the eulogy as well. She lived a long and pretty eventful life as well. I'd called up a bunch of family overseas to kind of get their side of the story and try to do justice to her life as well. And her funeral was yesterday. Yesterday was my grandmother's funeral. That's why we didn't cast the Pegasus Cup. It's why we didn't have a cast yesterday morning either before the pond cast. And yeah, we had a funeral yesterday. And yeah, so it's been a pretty intense period here. I was told, I know Kura was like, hey, just like take the week off, like just don't worry about casting. But especially because like we're one of the smaller casters out there, like I always feel pressured to at least have some content going, just because this is, you know, our livelihood. So we cut it down to basically like 1 cast a day basically, while trying to keep everything else going. And yeah, it did culminate in the eulogy. And yeah, that's why we've been casting a lot less StarCraft, not just this week, but like over the past, like since October of last year, just because like things have been changing here, of course, as well, have been different. So yeah, it's you know, we're okay, my sister and her and my nephew, I guess, came over for the funeral as well. They're also like staying here for the next couple of days, and the family's, you know, coming together. A lot of family, as you can imagine, with a Spanish household. But we've been okay. Did more than grieve. Yeah, for sure. I think the hardest part for me was actually writing the eulogy. Like, I think not even writing it, practicing it, because I felt the need to like practice like the speech like before the event, before the funeral. And that was rough. That was good. But yeah. So it's been an intense period of time. But that's one of the reasons why we've been casting a lot less and have been keeping things a little bit leaner as well, alongside what's been happening with the bunnies. But yeah. Take care, everyone. You know, she lives a full life. 98 years old. Crazy. Could have maybe lived longer as well. Crazy. I was calling up like a bunch of her like nieces and nephews from overseas to like hear like about her story, and I don't know if I'll release that publicly later, like the eulogy itself, but it was good. It's okay. But yeah, with that, we're going to be wrapping up here for the time being. And again, we'll be keeping broadcasts a little bit leaner here throughout the rest of the month, most likely just casting like once a day sort of thing, and hopefully things can settle down a little bit. But yeah, it's been pretty intense. But thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for watching regardless. Thank you for sticking by, for sticking around despite the less casting we've been having, of course. And hope you take care. Did just want to you know, let everyone know a little bit about what's been happening, what's been going on, just because I'm usually a little bit more private about my private life, but just letting you know. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everyone. Take care. Hasta luego. Hasta luego. We'll see you guys later on tonight for MSO or tomorrow for GSLCK. See you next time. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego.